Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So this video is going to be an ongoing campaign of using spiritual weapons against all these people that oppose us for whatever reason, you know. But it's all corny, you know. We ain't gonna let them make it make sense, because it don't make sense. They can't make it make sense. That's why they gotta try to pin stuff on us. It ain't got no charges or nothing. Listen, man, they trying to make it make sense and it don't. Okay? They trying to make it make sense. That's what a lame gonna do. A lame gonna try to make it make sense, and it's not gonna make sense. Okay? It don't make sense. And so, because they trying to fit in and be in vogue, the Freemasons always trying to be in vogue. You notice that? The New Day Freemasons. They trying to be in vogue with everything. Trying to be cool out here in the streets, right? Like that. They gonna try to make it make sense, and it don't. Because even if we was guilty, people gonna still want you dead, because you don't tear up the whole community because somebody's guilty. You don't, listen, buddy. You don't tear up the whole community because somebody's guilty of something. And that's where we got you. It's not even a matter if we're guilty or not. It's not even a matter if we're actually guilty or not. It's a matter that you destroyed the country for whatever reason. You see where you at? That's where you at, buddy. See, it's hard for you to keep up, ain't it? You know where you at? Where people don't even care if you was right or wrong. They don't care anymore if you're right or wrong. They know you're responsible for playing around this country. And anybody with a brain know you can't run out here and do all this in these streets and nothing happens. And that's what we're going to be emphasizing on moving forward. You can't be out here in these streets and do all this gang stalking and running around and you don't think nothing spiritual is going to happen to the community. Because that makes more sense as far as spiritual reciprocity. All these people out here in the streets playing games, you don't think they can do something spiritual? So nothing, when we come from, as black people, you reap what you sow, culture, right? You reap what you sow. It don't ask you if you're a Freemason. Reaping and sowing don't ask you how many degrees of Freemasonry you got going on. Well, how many degrees of Freemasonry you got going on? How many degrees of Freemasonry you got going on? Before we try to see if you're gonna get karma. We're just making sure you got a certain amount of degrees. You think karma cares if you got all these degrees of Freemasonry? Or you thought I was stupid, didn't you? We don't care how many degrees of Freemasonry you got. You're wrong, and guess what, buddy? You ain't gonna be able to get around it. No, you're not. It's too many people on your head. And it's too, you tried to do that to me. You tried to put all these people on my head, buddy. Listen, you tried to put all these people on my head, and now everybody on your head. Am I right or wrong? That's your karma too. That's karma. You come out here and play in the streets. Listen, buddy, I don't gotta be, let me explain something. I could be the fakest person in the world. I could be fake, and they still gonna want you dead. Me being real don't determine whether these people want you dead or not. You gonna be dead because of what you've done, not if I'm real or fake. That don't got nothing to do with it. But I am real, but I don't have to be real to win this war, is what I'm telling you. Because this war is based on you coming out here and everybody know because you told everybody. See, that's the problem. You can't deny it because too many people know about it. You can't say no, it wasn't us. You can't say no, it wasn't us. Everybody know you was out here. Okay, so then they gonna put two and two together. Anybody with spiritual intuition, especially African people, they gonna put two and two together eventually. That's all we waiting for. They gonna put two and two together and realize, hold up, I think these people the ones causing all this stuff to happen to our community. Nah, think about it, because with all these people moving around all at one time, doing all this stuff everywhere, keep in mind, they everywhere. That's what they pride themselves on, being everywhere. That's what they pride themselves on. We in every state, we in every major city, right? Until you're doing the wrong thing in every major city, until you're doing the wrong thing in every state, and that comes up before God, and God judges it, right? And ain't no way in the world you can tell me that's not what's going on. You being judged for all of this. That's what it is. And what has to happen is ultimately these systems of America have to be shut down in order to stop the Freemasons. To stop the Freemasons and the secret societies, the systems of America have to be shut down. That makes all the sense in the world. Because once the systems are shut down, a Freemason is nothing. A Illuminati member is nothing. All we gotta do is shut down the systems. That's all we gotta do. So that's what's happening. That's why over there in the Middle East, all this stuff is happening. All this bad stuff is happening because ultimately it's gonna come back on the Americans. And that means it's gonna come back on the Freemasons and Illuminati members that's here in the United States of America. See how it's going? See, ultimately these wars are gonna escalate to the point where it brings problems back here for the Freemasons, and it brings problems back here for any other secret society. So that's why we have to embrace the escalation of things. We have to embrace it. Because after all, this country ain't on your side if you're a Christian. Listen, that's facts. That's facts. They're not on your side. Okay, so it's gonna take time for people's intuition to kick in on that too. It's gonna take a little time for you to realize, okay, as a Christian, I don't know about nothing else, but as a good Christian, they're not on your side, buddy. They're not. So we have to let it happen. We have to let this happen to these American people. We gotta let them fall off. We gotta let them fall by the wayside. We gotta let them die. Okay, we don't pray no more. I don't pray for these people. I don't ask God to help these people, because you don't play with God's kingdom and then we pray for you when you've been consistently against us. Okay, see what we dealing with is, man, people are not really willing to die for this. That's what it is. They willing to play games, but they not willing to die for it, and we willing to die for it. That's why they listen. That I told them, if you ain't willing to die for it, you might as well chill right now, buddy. You might as well chill right now, because how we thinking today is, listen, man. How I'm thinking today is just take care of my business. You know what I'm saying? It's moving forward and doing whatever I gotta do. And if they haphazard, they ain't gonna listen. We already determined that when they haphazard, they ain't gonna give it their all. They ain't gonna fight us like what it takes. You know what I'm saying? We don't compare ourselves to none of these people. They shouldn't have came out here. They came out here playing with us. That's why everybody on our side. That's why everybody want them dead. That's why nobody ain't changing the verdict. Nobody ain't changing the verdict. You know why? Because they see that you caused the problem, and they see that I was minding my business. But you try to act like you could get the community to make me a scapegoat and I could just die. It's not gonna work. They didn't feel that either. They didn't feel that either. So I know all about you. You don't know all about me. You thought you knew all about me. I'm way more 100 than you thought, bro. Y'all rah-rah. Listen, buddy, I just keep weapons. That's all. I just keep weapons. People can be rah-rah all day. I just keep my weapons. See, I told y'all I wasn't rah-rah. You know what rah-rah is? Talking loud with no weapons. Talking loud with no weapons. That's rah-rah. Rah-rah ain't, the person talk loud and back it up. That's not rah-rah. Rah-rah is, to me, empty threats. No weapons. Yeah, loud with no weapons. That's rah-rah. This ain't rah-rah. Because somebody that's real gonna turn up, bro. They gonna turn up and let you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They gonna talk these politics. That's not rah-rah, buddy. See, a lame gonna think everything loud is rah-rah. Everything that is long-winded, as we would say, is rah-rah. Nah. It's a difference between rah-rah and breaking down politics. I'm breaking down politics. It ain't no way in the world people gonna let you go. See, you in the streets now. That's what you wanted. You wanted to be in the streets. See, people don't know what they want. They want smoke, but now they don't want smoke. Make up your mind. Make up your mind, suckers. Make up your mind. 1 minute you want smoke, another minute you don't. I stayed consistent. I stayed on, and now everything has changed. You know what I'm saying? I didn't switch up. I didn't fold when all these people around me and all of this stuff. I stayed right in my position. Anti-Freemason, anti-Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? I stayed in my position. You know, now people try to switch up. You know, when the heat is on, you know, when it's hot in the kitchen, now everybody want to switch up. You know, it don't work like that, bro. That's why I told people, it's not about your sexual orientation. It's not about none of that. It's not about, so we don't care about it. It ain't no need to try to show us that you gay, because that ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I done been around gay dudes that sold drugs and everything. So I'm not one of these everyday Americans that don't know the difference between lame gay niggas and real gay niggas. You know what I'm saying? That sell drugs and everything like that and uncaught bodies and everything. So, you know, you can't play that phase with me like I don't know the difference. Just like the same thing with black people. You know, they can go and perform in front of these white folks and act like they real in front of these white folks because they rah-rah, right? That might scare a white man. A black man gonna know that's rah-rah, bro. Because I keep weapons. That's it. That's all. That's why I'm like this. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing you can dispute with that. Somebody carrying weapons all the time, getting arrested, you can go ask NYPD about me, buddy. Go ask New York Police Department about me. Weapon charge, weapon charge, weapon charge, weapon charge, buddy. Looking right in the face of the police. The people that's supposed to be exposing crimes, not you ignorant black people. Not you ignorant cultured people. You ain't in the business of doing that. But I look right in the face of the people that's in the business of doing that. And they seen weapon charge, weapon charge, weapon charge. It's always ignorant black people who think they just like you and they not. You ain't like me. I get arrested for weapon charges in New York. That's my reputation. Bags of weapons. Police arrested me with a duffel bag of weapons. That ever happened to you? Were you cold busted? Cold busted. Whole duffel bag, got a duffel bag of weapons. You ever been caught like that in New York? And it is what it is. And you ain't going nowhere. You ever been in that? Has that ever happened to you? All you gotta listen, man. If you so you know the main people that focus on this kind of stuff is black folks, right? If you want to know about me, go ask NYPD. I'm sure. Ain't you a Freemason? Ain't you a Freemason? Or some other little secret side? I'm sure they'll be transparent with you. They'll be transparent with you. Let's put it like that. Go ask them what I've been arrested for. Go ask them. In 2026, I don't go to the streets because the streets can know you're real and jealous, and they'll tell dudes you fake. Oh no, hold up. If it's the ops, if it's the ops, if it's the op block, right? You think they gonna tell everybody you real and y'all ops? You think they gonna say, yeah, he real though? Most people can't be that disciplined. They gonna say, nah, nah, forget that, at that dude, you know what I mean? Yeah, nah, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna keep it 100. So don't ask the streets. If you really 100, go ask the police department about me, man. Go ask the police about me. And I ain't talking about in a dry snitching way. I ain't saying it in a dry snitching way. You wanna know about me? You go ask the police. Go ask the police, man. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Because as long as it's back and forth between me and you or somebody else or whatever, you're gonna be subject to your little intuition. you know what beats that intuition? Go ask the police about me, buddy. Go ask the police. What they consistently lock me up for. Go ask them what they consistently arrest me for. It ain't gonna be sexual charges. It ain't gonna be nothing sexual in nature. It's gonna be all weapon charges. I guarantee you that. All weapon charges. I ain't doing this to install fear or intimidate nobody. I'm showing you what type of person you playing with, buddy. Somebody who get arrested and get weapon charge. Consistently, bro. Consistently. Last time I ain't even get caught because I ran from the police. When the last time you ran from the police? Huh? When the last time y'all ran from the police? Listen, bro, listen. That would have been a weapon charge too. I just didn't get caught that time. Because at some point you ain't gonna get caught. Somebody like me. I get caught a couple times. Last time, now I'm on my game. I ain't getting caught out here. Do I walk out there every time with weapons? No, I ain't, cause I ain't letting them pull me and you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. And they got these mind readers and telepaths on their side, all of a sudden they asking you questions because they know you got a weapon on you. You know what I'm saying? Come on, we know that. So that's why you ain't gonna see me slipping out here. So I'm balanced enough to know when to carry my weapon outside. I know when to carry my weapon outside. So just understand, bro, I ain't got it to prove. It's my point. I don't walk around like I got something to prove because I don't. You want to know about me? Go ask NYPD, buddy. See, it ain't many people like that can do that. Oh, go ask NYPD. Go pull my, whatever little things they got on me. Go pull it. And you're going to see who I am. You're going to see exactly who I am. That's why I don't deal with white folks. Like out there, I don't deal with these ignorant white folks. Cause you just watching the show like the state fair. It's like the state fair for you. Like this is a carnival, this is a circus or something. This ain't no circus. I call it how I see it. You standing around looking like this a circus or a state fair. This ain't no state fair or circus. This is no games, man. This is no point of no return. Playing with me, you ain't gonna come back from it. You ain't gonna come back from this. I told y'all, they gonna respect us like the mob. They gonna respect us like the mob, bro. They gonna respect us like the mob. And that's what's happening. Because I know you're scared of the mob. I've been around somebody that was a hitman for the mob, bro. That's the most dangerous person I've been around. Somebody that went city to city killing people. They went city to city killing people. That's the most dangerous energy I've been around. That's why I done been around somebody that was in the Italian mafia. And this dude was like, oh, you don't seem to be scared of me. Nah, I'm not scared of you because it's the same energy. You just do things on a different level or a more productive level of of killing and all of that. I got the same mindset where I'll take care of my business. You know what I'm saying? So I done been around the most dangerous person I done been around. And I ain't saying me and him did hits together or whatever, but we was kicking it, me and him one-on-one. And we was walking in Seattle. I'm living in Seattle, right? He was like, you don't seem to be scared of me, man. That's what he said. I'm not. So I've been around people like that, bro. Call bodies, everything. I'm just letting people know because I'm not part of the hip hop culture. This ain't hip hop. This is not hip hop. Because if you don't differentiate yourself, they'll think you some little rapper. And I check people right here in Utica. I check people on the streets. I cannot stress that enough. And it's an art to doing it. Don't do this at home. Don't try this at home. If you're not built to do it, I check people because it's a certain way you got to know how to slide up on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what you're doing, you can't, listen, you're going to be in jail or worse. Because I know how to do this. I know how to command my respect. I know exactly how to do it, buddy. Because it comes with time. You know, that's how you know who real too. Because I slide up on you and I'm going to get my respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna walk away and you go, listen, you ain't gonna want no problems. Cause you already in the wrong anyway. Let's consider that. All I'm waiting for is for somebody to jump and they know they in the wrong already. You know you're already in the wrong position. That's why you're corny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, oh yeah, that's why. See, and that's why I'm not. You know why I'm not corny? Because I'm not in the wrong position this morning. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not in the wrong position. People played in my lane, you know, what can I say? When you play in my lane, you can't say you're real. Because a real one ain't going to play in nobody's lane. So what is that? We can't say it's real. Not according to the streets. Not according to the streets. See, this is where white folk this is where they get excluded. And you don't realize I'm black on my own. So I still can have nothing to do with all these black folks. And what I'm going to do? Turn to somebody else? That's what you thought, didn't you? I'm going to still be me. Look in the face of a black man that stands on his own and I'm still 100. That's just what it is. I don't say it when it's convenient for me. I say it at all times. Some people talk about this when it's convenient for them. I talk about it and everybody know. I talk about it when it's really not convenient for me. Like on the Christian message. You know, I say it when it need to be said. I say it when it's not convenient. When you could think it could work against me. That's okay. Because you gonna understand, bro. Listen, man. I'm IDing myself. I'm letting you know who I am. As opposed to what you heard, right? I keep weapons on me. The last dude that came through this door in this building, in this room, listen, he backed up out this door because he seen weapons. Okay? I had him in my hand. I told him, come on, back up out the room, bruh. See, they used to trying, it's a certain type of gay dude that's used to trying all these other little gay dudes. Like a bully, right? Until you meet somebody that ain't in those categories. I'm gonna tell you how I know that's what he thought I was. He bust through the door with his hand because of this dry wood, right? It wasn't because he was so strong. It was because of the dry wood. This room is so hot, it dries the wood out, right? See, a real man knows that. That's why he was able to bust through the door. A real man understands certain things just naturally, you know. So the heat dries out this door, real dry, right? So it's so dry, if it's kind of hollow and thin wood, it's already dry. He just busts through it, right? So it was a hole in the door. So I'm like, I ain't saying nothing. Some people go in a rage, even though it's not my door. Just for that to happen, they'll go in a rage. Some people, right? I say, look, man. They gonna transfer you for that or whatever, right? He's still talking loud. Don't you know he put his hand through the door and opened the door? Because he used to trying these little gay dudes. That is certain dudes like that are not challenged in the gay community, right? So he used to being this bully among these little gay dudes, right? And just rough them up all the time or whatever. So I guess he seen how I was kind of laid back or whatever. He must have sized me up like that, right? Don't you know he put his hand through the door and came through the door? As soon as I see him doing that, man, I wait for my weapons. I say, yo, right on punchline, right at the punchline. As soon as he opened the door, right on beat, boom. I said, yo, back up out this door, bro. Back up out this door. Back up out this door. Back up. He tried to show me his gun wounds. I don't care about ignorant people like that. This is why we'll never be together. because you think you me. You think you me, bro. I got the real turn up, bro. You think you me and you not. You not me. I promise you not me. Not on your best day are you me. Because you gotta get drunk to sound like I do. You gotta listen, you gotta have liquor in your system to be me, bro. I'm like this without liquor. You understand? Every day. You gotta get liquor in your system to be like me, and that's facts. That's the difference. And that's what the real we're gonna tell you. Half y'all gotta be drunk to sound like me, to even talk like me. No, think about what I'm saying. I'm serious. They gotta be drinking to talk like me. Even when I'm discussing things, pay attention. See, black folks, white folks don't know no different. They think everybody real out here. And a black man gonna sit down and study things, nah, that's fake. That's counterfeit. That's counterfeit. That's a person that just wanna fight, and I ain't the type, I'll tell you like a Chicago dude to tell you, we ain't trying to fight, bro. I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to fight. I'm not in the mood for fighting, and it's not that I can't fight. It's just most people, man, these days, they not trying to fight people, bro. Like, we ain't in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Tell these gay dudes we ain't in the 80s, man. People ain't trying to fight no more, bro. Not unless it makes sense. Like, I offer a person to a fight if it makes sense. But if it don't, I'm applying weapons in other situations. That's it. That's all. But if it makes sense and I feel like you try me personally, and it's a situation like that, and if it lines up just right, I challenge a person to a fight, right? But if it don't make sense more times than not, I'm not focused on that. I'm focused only on letting it escalate to the point where I gotta handle my business. See, that in a tricky way, that shows you who's full of drama and who's not. Because if you're full of drama, you want to fight, you want to do everything. You want to pull weapons, you want to talk loud, you want to do all this stuff. A person that really ain't full of drama, they just check people because that's a must, and they pull weapons. That's it. All that extra fighting and all this are not. That's a quarrelsome person. That's the term. A quarrelsome person. That's what you are. I'm not a quarrelsome person. Like DMX say, I don't like drama, so I keep to myself. I don't like drama, so I keep to myself. So just because you keep to yourself, bro, people take it for granted, bro. They take it for granted. They take it for granted. Till it's too late. Because I know God gonna get you anyway. I done seen it time and time again. In this building, in that room over there, this the third person been over there. And watch, it's just a matter of time. That person gonna be gone too. Because God ain't gonna play no games, bro. And the way you least expect it, that's how God gonna hit you right on your blind side. Boom. Boom, boom. Right on your blind side. You're gonna be right out of here just like everybody else. I watched it. I sit back and observe, bro. I don't bully nobody. I don't try to put pressure on nobody. If you know that, if you watch my turn up, because it's nationwide, you will think, if you're not smart, you'll think I'm a bit of a bully. No, I'm not. I check people when they need to be checked, bro. That's it. If I know you following me around the building, but you act like you're not, but I know you're trying to work that little hairy part of witchcraft, I'm gonna come see you. That's it. That's all. I'm gonna come see you. And I might make up another reason, but if you're smart, you know why I'm seeing you right now. Because you just played a game, and now I'm in your face, like I'm showing you, I'm seeing what you want to do. Okay? You're not built like that. People tell you, other people, they not built, but you're not. I'm gonna tell you how I know you're not built like this. Because you don't cut people off. I cut people off. I cut whole communities off. You got a heart. That's the first thing when it comes to being built a certain way. You can't have your heart on your sleeve. You can have a heart, but not on your sleeve. And most people, man, that really ain't street people, you're gonna have your heart on your sleeve. Even when you trying to cause problems and things, you still gonna halfway try to be cool with people. I don't. And that's why people think I'm cold-hearted. Cause I don't try to be cool with you halfway, and I know you playing games. Why? That's my logic. Maybe I'm just too smart to be like that. I already know you playing games. So why try to be friends? Why try to act like it's something else and it's not? You know what it is. You playing games. So what I supposed to do? Oh, play alone. That's what most people do. They just play alone. I can't play alone, bro. I don't play alone. If I know you playing games, listen, man. Listen, that's what it is. I don't have no frenemies. Friend and enemies. Frenemies. I don't have no frenemies. You either are a friend or an enemy. All that neutral stuff where you think switching both sides, playing both sides, you can't play both sides with me. Cause I don't need you over here anyway. What you gonna do for me? I already got influence. I'm influencing other people. Let alone, have an influence. I got influence. I influence others, and you know what I mean. I got influence. I influence others. You know what I'm saying? Because people gonna see it my way, bro. It's just you can't embody all the stuff that these people have done with a good person or a person you think is cool. That's not gonna be sufficient. It's too many things they did wrong for that one person can't make up for it. Some nice person just can't make up for it, bro. They can't. You can't make up for this, all the stuff they done. So it ain't no need to try. Either you got the bag or you don't. You got the money or you don't. And if you feel like you ain't gonna get no money from me and you seen all this stuff that done happened based on my life, you must be smoking crack. You gotta be smoking Tina. Smoking crack or Tina? Which one? I'm serious. It don't get no realer than going to jail, bro. Go ask about me. Go ask the NYPD. Cause the streets gonna lie and cause they hating, they gonna tell you whatever, you know. And these dudes ain't even sit down and have a conversation with me. That's what I'm tripping off of. Ain't none of them had no conversation with me. But they gonna tell you all about me, right? They gonna tell you all about me. But when have they ever had a real man conversation with me? Intuition, intuition don't run the world, buddy. I mean, if you look at it for what it is, because the world is in such bad shape, I don't trust none of these people doing. I don't trust no method that they got that they think work against me, because if it worked, then why it ain't working for the world? Intuition ain't working for the world, is it? Reading people ain't working for the world, is it? See how smart I is. Intuition ain't working for the world. No, it's not. If you were so good at reading people, why you been in 5 bad relationships? You so good at reading people, why you got all these broken relationships then? So you can't apply to the most important relationship, which is your companion, but you can apply it to me. Well, won't you apply it to yourself first? Well, why you got all these bad, broken relationships if you so good at reading people? Make it make sense, bro. See, all I'm gonna do is look at your life, and when I see you've had all these multiple partners, I know you ain't as good as you at reading people that you think you are. No, you're not. You ain't that good at reading people that you think you are, right? No, you're not. If you were so good at reading people, why you got all these broken relationships? That's my question. You so good at reading people, but you got 12 bad relationships. You got 12 broken relationships, but you so good at reading people. That's all I'm gonna do is look at your life. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at your life. And that's gonna tell me the truth. If you were so great at reading people, then why you got all these broken relationships? That don't make sense. You know why? Because we don't know it all. That's why. We don't know everything. We don't know everything like we think we do. Nobody does. Not me or you. No one knows everything it is to know about people, and then people change. People change. They change. And the person you knew no longer exists, at least not to you. Because maybe they changed because they thought they was tougher than you, or they thought you was a pushover. Maybe they changed for that reason. But for whatever the reason, they not the same person that you met. People change. That's the thing. That's what's tricky about relationships. Even if you read somebody and you know them, right? You feel you know them. They could change. What about that? They change. Then what? Like these black people, how they changed on me, right? Even though I've been through all of New York, I've been through all the Brooklyn, everything. How black people changed on you? Because that's life. Listen, you done live life yourself, right? Then why would you think I wouldn't change on you? Why you think I wouldn't change on you? I changed on you too. I supposed to. It's called adjusting. It's called adjustment. You adjust to your situation. I've already done that. I adjust to my situation. And now, listen, I don't deal with anybody in America collectively. I deal with everybody on an individual basis. Now, if I was racist, I wouldn't deal with nobody that was black on any basis. I deal with people on an individual basis. Whether they black, white, Hispanic, or Latino, I don't deal with any collective community here in America because of the disrespect towards me. You see the difference? But you go and still, like you in 1972, you still go embrace, collect whole groups of people and get played. I don't embrace no whole groups of nobody. It's too much ignorance out here. See, if you up to date and you like me, you don't embrace everybody. You don't embrace all black people. No, you don't. No, you can't. You can't embrace all these black people. You can't. You can't embrace all of these people. And you lying if you think you are, because I can go show you black people over and over again. Will you embrace this person? Will you embrace that person? You're gonna say no, 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 no. I ain't embracing none of that. That's right. So after it's all said and done, I can show you people that's black that you do not embrace. I can show you a whole bunch of black people that you don't embrace. So you really are in the same situation I'm in, except I'm just real enough to say it. I'm just real enough to say it. I don't embrace all black people. You just don't want to say it cut and dry like that. I don't care. I'll tell you because I know all the ignorance that's going on in the culture. I know that these people ain't gonna do things the way God want them to do it. And the way God want them to do it. They ain't gonna do it. So when you talk to me as a spiritual person, I'm gonna tell you, no, first thing first, black people ain't gonna do things the way God want them to do it. They ain't gonna listen. They ain't gonna do it. You know what they gonna do? They gonna go with the culture. They gonna go with the culture. They gonna either go with the culture or they gonna go with the streets. That's what they gonna go with. You ain't got nobody that can match me, bro. That person over there talking loud. Listen, bro, I got weapons right now, bro. That's all it is to it, man. That's how I shut people down like you. Because you make it seem like you like whatever it is. I don't care what it is. I got these weapons to take care of whatever it is. And that's how I take care of my business. It ain't a coward way out because that person ain't on my level of intellect and understanding already. I already know that. Because they talking too much. They talking too much. Right? When you talk like that, me and you are on two different weight class. I don't care what you're talking about. I done been around people that call bodies. Plural in one case. Bodies. That's all we talking about. We ain't talking about fighting. That's what ignorant black people want to do. We ain't talking about fighting. We ain't talking about fighting. See, it's a lot of people that's like him that talk about fighting. I ain't talking about fighting. And that's how you command your respect. Because as long as you just willing to fight everybody, you're gonna be. This is another reason why you can't fight everybody. Because as long as you're willing to fight everybody, you're gonna get disrespected. Because everybody gonna feel like, well, you fight this person, fight that. Nah, I'm not fighting all these people. No, no. Think about it. If you in the hood, and you are a fighter, the main fighter, guess what happened? That person got to fight everybody. Back in the day, right? If you can imagine, if you got a reputation for fighting, people just kind of halfway want to fight you already, just for the sport of it. But you already done graduated that kind of mentality, right? Where you don't fight people for the sport of it. I don't fight people for the sport of it either. Either way you look at it. I don't conflict with people for the sport of it. You do. And I can see through people like you. Now, white folks don't know no better. You got people that like to fight and conflict with people for the sport of it, right? And you find somebody like me, I just like to shut it down. I shut down the disrespect. I shut down the rah-rah. I shut down the confusion between me and you. Yeah, I differentiate myself. I already listen, man. Everybody already know who I am, man. Ain't nothing fabricated and exaggerated at all. It ain't. Listen, I can confront you like a man. I can confront you with street principles. It's either one. See, that's the difference. I can confront you like a man and break you down like a man, or I can confront you with street principles. It's either one you want. But I'm gonna win in both cases. Like if you saying something about my name, listen, I can confront you like a man and say, prove that what you talking about. Can you prove that? And I'm gonna make you less of a man or whatever you want to be. If you want to be a tranny or whatever, see, they gotta use black people like you, cause ain't no Hispanic or Latinos ain't gonna do it. White folks ain't gonna do it. They gotta use ignorant people like you. That's why we don't count you as our own. No, you ain't a part of me. You ain't a part of me. And I make that clear. But see, I can confront you like a man, or I can confront you with street principles. I can tell you if you can't say that to my face like a man, right? Then I call you a coward. Because I know you can't. I know you're gonna feel crazy saying something you ain't seen nobody do. I know you're gonna feel a little bugged out at that moment when you don't know me and you saying something you ain't seen me do. I know human nature. You're gonna feel real strange. You should feel strange now. The way I'm talking and what you're talking about. But I know you can't say that to my face. I mean, people like you too. Okay, when you turn your back or you walk the opposite way, they talking, right? But they'll never say that directly to you like you having a conversation with them, right? They ain't gonna ever have the balls to do that. And that's all I'm saying. I win because I know that's what it is. I know you ain't gonna say it to my face. That's one thing I take from childhood. One principle. I know you ain't gonna say it to my face. Say it to my face. And if you don't, listen, man, listen. You less of a man than me. We don't so men like me laugh at me and people like you because somewhere along the way you didn't grow up to understand how to be real as a man. I'm real as a man, not the boy I used to be. I was real as a boy and real as a man. But I'm real as a man. I don't go back to being real as a boy. And some people don't know the difference. You don't know how to stay in your lane in your age bracket, right? You too old to be making mistakes. You ain't got a lot of time. You too old to be making mistakes. rookie mistakes, talking loud, playing games, like them rookie mistakes. Now, me, I'm talking like this because I'm checking people. Now, a person that's real gonna know, look, oh, I get room for that. Yeah, because if it was me, I would be doing the same thing. I'm gonna check me something. No, listen, ain't no way in the world you gonna play me like you play them white folks. See, we in a time like that, where they playing them white folks like they really black, or they really 100. But then when they come over here with the killers, you know what I'm saying? That part, bro. You can't tell me what I'm doing, what I would do to you. I can tell you what I would do to you. See, that's being a man right there too. I know I can tell you what I'll do to you. You can't tell me what I will do to you. I can tell you. I can volunteer that information. I can give you heads up. I can give you heads up about what I'll do to you. I can give you heads up on it. Right? But listen, I'm gonna tell you what happens to people like you. You size up people. That's a big mistake these days. All the OGs done stop doing that. The real streets done stop sizing people up, reading people. Oh, we been off that. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. People are on too many drugs for you to read somebody. People on pills, chemicals. How you gonna read somebody these days? And then these dudes around here, these little slim, skinny dudes, look like they $130 wet, right? $130 wet. Dude look like $130 wet, bruh. Right? Got a Draco and everything. Be walking around with Dracos, $130 wet. Welcome to the new times where that skinny punk kind of mentality, like this dude's just a little skinny punk, that's gone. You seen these kids lately that be out here shooting these Dracos and these assault rifles? Them dudes be little skinny little dudes. They ain't no big old bouncer type dudes like back in the day. Like they done got out of prison, or that time is gone. See, I'm up to date and dudes ain't. So when you look at me, how you gonna missize me up when you got these little skinny dudes out here, bro, with AK-47s, AK-47 SKSs and everything. That's what I'm saying. Police, they make that mistake too, because you gonna profile me on the worst that you seen when that don't mean nothing. Now, if you're smart, you know what I just said. If sizing me up with the worst that you've seen, what that's gonna mean when I'm in front of you. Is that gonna change anything? That I ain't the worst person you've seen? What that got to do with me? What that got to do with me being in front of you? That's word to the wise. That's how you carry yourself on the streets. Because you're gonna think about, Elaine gonna think about the worst person he saw. So what? So what about that person? I'm in front of you right now. I don't have to be the biggest person you ever seen. I'm probably not. I mean, if you live long enough, I'm not 6'12". I'm not 6'12". That's an exaggeration. I'm not 6'12". Listen, man, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. Sizing people up is gone in 2026. It's always the ones you don't think that's gonna kill you. That be the one. That's why I don't let my guard down for anybody. While you might think I'm scary or whatever, nah, because no, I don't let my guard down for nobody. Listen, I'm always prepared in every situation, because I don't go by reading people. I go by, listen, a person could be a threat. A person could harm me just as well as I can harm them. That's what I go by. See, I've been on the streets, bro. That's all I got. I don't have to go through those hoops that y'all go through. Where you trying to prove if people real? I've been past that. I don't. You could think I'm fake. You know what I'm gonna do? I take advantage of it. That's what a criminal will do. Okay, you can think I'm fake. Go ahead. And then guess what? Guess what? It's gonna be easy, so much more easier to do whatever I gotta do. It's gonna be way more easier. Cause you're gonna have your guard down. You ain't gonna think nothing. See, if you really discipline yourself, when they feel like you fake, you should take advantage of that. Cause you're gonna be able to do everything you need to do. Think about it. You're gonna be able to do it. If you're doing crimes, you're gonna be able to do everything you need to do. They ain't gonna think you the one doing any crimes around here. They ain't gonna think none of that. They gonna think you fake. They gonna think you ain't capable of doing those type of things. So I ID myself like a street dude, but at the same time, I don't push it to the extreme. If you think I'm fake, the military minded part of me is gonna take over. Okay, if you think I'm fake, I'm gonna let you think that. See, this is different between thugs and gangsters and military. Military will let you totally think they fake. Oh, okay. Tell a soldier he fake. He gonna say, okay. He gonna say, okay, because he know you ain't gonna be on guard, you ain't gonna be ready, you ain't gonna shoot this, you ain't gonna have a gun on you, or nothing. You gonna just try this person. He gonna take full advantage of that. But when you used to the streets and all of that and the arrogance and you sometimes you can succumb. Even the most disciplined person can succumb to a little bit of arrogance where you feel like you need to let people know what time it is. And everybody, that's a struggle in itself. But when you really elevate yourself as a soldier, this is the top level. You let them think whatever they want. That's how you know you really have went all the way elevated as a soldier. You let them think whatever they want to think, whatever it is, and you let them think that. Because when they walk past you and you ready to handle your business, they gonna be totally off guard. They ain't gonna think, oh, wow. They gonna be blindsided. They ain't gonna think, oh, this is a real nigga. Let me get my strap or whatever. They ain't gonna think like that. So it'll be easier. It'll be easier. So that's all I'm saying, man. See, once you're on the streets, let me explain something. Once you live on the streets, protecting yourself is not a matter of being cool. When you sleep on the streets, like I have, I keep weapons so I'm good at nighttime. When people just walking around where I live and I sleep at, you get trained to keep your eyes open and be ready to protect yourself. So for me, it's a matter of protecting myself at this point. I've been on the streets too many nights, and all I'm thinking about is, do I need to protect myself here? Do I need to say, you checking people, you learn to check people, all that all comes from living on the streets. See, white people don't pay attention. White people don't pay attention to that. They think you just a bum. They don't go down and see how you growing as a real nigga. They don't see that. But you are. But even if they knew you was growing as a real nigga, they don't care about that. They feel like ain't no money, you ain't making no money. That's how a white boy gonna look at it. A black man gonna say, well, on the streets he got more reputation. He got stronger on the streets. Cause we used to not having no money, but esteeming each other as valuable. You talk to a black man versus a white man. White man ain't gonna place no value on this person, and the black man, he used to finding value without money in people. He watch how he open his mouth and how he talk and everything. That's why many times real dudes will sit and talk to a homeless person on the streets. I done it many times. Because you gleaming wisdom from this person. You getting something from this person. Women don't usually do it. I mean, maybe, because they're uncomfortable, but men, we talk to homeless people all the time, and they give us information about life and things like that, and you kind of keep your edge. Talking to these street people, they kind of can tell you what's going on. You can feel the vibe of what through them about what's going on in the streets. See, you'll never overlook that dude. But see, people overlook people like me. See, I've been that street person on the streets. I can tell you what's going on. That's why I ain't got no confusion about it. I done watched it. I done seen it from California. You don't overlook somebody that done been somewhere you haven't been. You don't never turn a dull, blind eye to somebody that's went somewhere and you ain't been there. And they telling you what it is in the country. You know what I'm saying? I done been to California less than a year, right? The same stuff that's going on out here, is going on out there. You don't believe it, do you? You don't believe it. See, that's the problem. The same stuff, how these people riding around doing this gang stalking stuff, they doing the same thing over there in California. And while we talking about sleeping on the streets, everybody know I was sleeping on the streets in California, vulnerable to the whole community. People walking around, stealing, thugging, doing crimes all around me and everything. Then I found out where I was sleeping at, they found the body over there in the like where I was sleeping. Like there was this gate that was behind me where I sleep. Behind this gate was a little field, right? In this field, on the other side of where I was sleeping, this person told me they found a body over there. So I was sleeping over there where a body. That's why nobody really sleep over there, because of that history. And then I seen somebody doing a crime. I seen dudes doing little crimes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In California, you see people doing crimes. Busting out the grocery stores, running and stuff. I seen that kind of stuff last year. So it's a different energy over there. Some like cartoon stuff, where you see people doing crimes in real time. Like right before your very eyes. Like you don't really see that in New York. I don't even remember the last time I seen somebody do a crime right in front of me. Something illegal right in front of me, besides drugs and alcohol. But when I went to California, I seen a little bit of running around, and I seen fentanyl on the streets. Cause see, in California, everybody do drugs, man. The drugs is bad on the streets. It's always been bad. Even when in 2014, man, people smoking crack like it's the 80s. Like, I'm serious, like how people blowing crack. I mean, you see people smoke crack a little bit here and there, right? Like, you don't really see no smoke. They just smoking it, holding it in, whatever. Yeah, that part. You go to California, man, they up in smoke. They up in smoke, man. Like, I remember I used to take the shower in the shelters. They smoking crack all in the bathroom. Nobody ain't doing nothing about it. You know what crack smell like if you've been on the streets. I know what crack smell like. That part. See, that's how you know who's who. You know what crack smell? I know what crack. If somebody likes some crack around here, I know what crack smell like, buddy. It got a certain distinguished smell. It can't be misinterpreted for something else. Not a cigarette, not weed. Crack got a certain smell. Not Tina, not Crystal. Nope. Crack got a certain smell, buddy. Everybody know it. And when I was in California, man, I'm taking a shower. The whole bathroom is just up in smoke, like hazy from smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? So, but now, 10 years later, the streets got fentanyl. Fentanyl, what they call Fetty in California, they call it Fetty. Dudes be leaning, bruh, like dope addicts. You don't see that in New York. You don't see people like everywhere, just dope fiends. Fentanyl, that's what everybody doing. It's on the streets. You know what I'm saying? You sleeping among people that's on fentanyl, man. I was among people that's sleeping on the streets. White boys doing crimes and on fentanyl. Going through my bags and everything. All this kind of stuff. Got weapons. As soon as I got to California, I bought me a weapon as soon as I got there. Then I bought me this big hacksaw like knife, like this huge big knife. I paid like $9 for it. But the only thing I was drinking that day when I bought it, because the only thing I didn't think about when I bought it, because I was tipsy when I bought it, right? And he gave me a deal I couldn't refuse. He's like, I'll give it to you for 8. I'll give it to you. That's California, but so I bought it. But it looked good. It looked, when you tip, I was tipsy. It looked good. The knife looked good. But the only thing was, it didn't have a dagger point, right? So you can't stab somebody with it. You just chop people with it. So you would just gash people in the neck or the face. You ain't gonna stab them in the heart because it didn't have an edge. It just had a side of a blade without a point. The blade had a sharp edge without a point. A sharp edge on one side without a point. So I got so tipsy that day, I woke up, all my stuff gone. The phone gone, the blade gone. See, that's the streets. You ever been shipwrecked like that? Going through the streets, you already, it's a combination. You getting tipsy because really you're on the streets. What else is there to do for entertainment? So you getting halfway tipsy, more than you should be. I woke up on the side of the highway, but it was near my sleeping spot, but I was still on the side of the highway technically. I woke up like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, like some zombie stuff. Woke up, my phone gone, my blade I just bought gone. They got a good lick, but how I know it was a bum, because he didn't get the charger. How you gonna steal a phone and don't get the charger? And then you right there already getting the stuff anyway, why not get the charger? So that's how I know I lost the phone, because the charger I had the charger. Crazy stuff like that. When a person ain't even got a charger, but he got a phone. Maybe he was too scared to get the charger, I don't know, but he got the blade and the charger. It was a bum though, because I could tell it was definitely a bum that did it. Because a hustler gonna steal everything on principle. Because I can, if I don't need the charger, I can sell it. I can sell a charger on the streets. So why I ain't gonna get a charger? I ain't gonna be able to. I can sell the whole phone more easier with a charger. So that's the difference between a hustler, man, and people that's just out here just doing stuff to be doing stuff. I mean, he gonna take liquor. I had liquor left. He gonna take the liquor. That's just like a homeless person. See, you got bums and homeless people. A homeless person could be a bona fide hustler, just don't got nowhere to live. And they gonna hustle on the streets. They gonna see white folks don't know about them type. They just think everybody bums. They can't see. But a black person can go on the streets and I can see hustlers, I can see killers, I can see gangsters, everything. Especially in LA, California, you can't go to the streets. See, in New York, you'll make the mistake of with street people thinking everybody a bum and they ain't a threat. You go to California, you go to Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles, right? In Los Angeles, you can't go out there, you can't go to the streets acting like people are bum. These dudes is threats. These dudes will kill you. And then they got young dudes on the streets. In LA, not just these old washed up street bums, and drug addicts, they got young dudes. Stay fresh, hustling, stealing, thieving, all that kind of stuff. You gotta hold your head on the streets of LA. You can't just walk in LA, Los Angeles and think, oh, all these bums, and then go around disrespect somebody. You can't. You can't do it. I remember one night in LA, I seen this dude. He had his best outfit on, like the button-up shirt, like this with the what we call a suit without the jacket, like the dress suit. In the South we'll call it a dress suit. So he had like a dress suit on, with like the button-up shirt, and the pants to match the whole suit, dress suit. With the brim, I think, he had a brim on, I think, too. He was in downtown LA trying to get his money. Somebody owed him money. He put on his best clothes. I ain't never seen nobody do this on the East Coast. He put on his best clothes. He said, man, he raging. He started raging like a real nigga, right? So he was like, yo, man, I need my money tonight. He said, I'm willing to die. I got my best clothes on tonight. I'm willing to die. You got to come out and give me my money. I ain't never seen no kind of energy like that in on the East Coast a day in my life. In the South either. I ain't never see that. I ain't never seen it. I went to the West Coast. This dude was like, man, I gotta have my money tonight. I got my best clothes on. I'm willing to die right now. Like, ain't nobody saying nothing. No police ain't coming or nothing. I seen a white woman get hit and get punched in her head in broad daylight, and nobody did nothing. I ain't never seen that, even on the street level. I went to California. I seen a woman just get punched in the back of her head, which ain't good for a person that fight. You know, y'all don't never punch nobody in their head. You mess your hands up. You don't punch nobody in their head unless you mess around and do it. I don't punch. You'll mess your hands up trying to punch people in the head. You all face shots. Boom, boom, boom. You don't hit nobody in no head. You mess your hands up. Only an amateur gonna do that. So I wouldn't hit nobody in the back of their head. I rather if you from the back, if your back is turned to me, I might just slam you or something, grab you and slam you on the ground, something like that. I might just slam you. I'll take advantage of the fact your back turned. I'm gonna do that, but I'll probably just slam you because I'm strong, right? I'm one of them skinny, strong dudes. Like I lift up whole couches on my back. I used to lift 200 pounds in the gym. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. But for some reason, this height is very tricky because some people will think I'm like 5'9" or 5'7". That's how they size me up. I'm taller than that. It's a tricky height. But I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. So you know, okay, that's a good height. Mike Tyson don't look too short, do he? Well, me and him the same height. You know? So I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. So for people that think, oh, well, you know, oh, this dude is a little dude or whatever. Like, how are you thinking that? I'm the same height as Mike Tyson, bro. The best fight I had in New York, this dude punched me in my stomach. He punched me, right? I ain't do nothing to him. He thought me and this dude was gonna rob him, right? So he punched me because he thought I was the weakest link. Because the dude I was with, I can roll with big dudes, right? So he like 6'2", 3", about 250, easy. About 250, maybe 230. About that, but he definitely ain't a $180. He ain't a $190 either. Cause his height, and he kind of got a little weight on him, but he ain't fat, but he got a little weight on him. One of them type of dudes. So me and him drinking together and everything, right? He went to school with 50 Cent, right? So him and 50 Cent went to school, so that tell you how old he was. He was a little older than me. But me and him chilled together, vibed, smoked, drank together, whatever. So we went out to get some cigarettes. This is in Far Rockaway, out by the beach in Queens. I now know the beach was out there. But so we went to the store late at night, right, to get some singles. I don't know if this dude knew that the store was closed. He lived over there. I ain't gonna know. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of, maybe, I don't know, man. But anyway, me and him walked to the store. And but maybe he was one of them dudes who always buy a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. He ain't never have to come out late. But even if you buy a pack of cigarettes, at some point you're gonna come out late to get to get cigarettes, right? I don't know, man. But anyway, on our way back, because the store was closed, right? This dude asked us how he can get to the train station, right? So we started walking him to the train station, but mind you, I'm drinking a fifth. We on a fifth of vodka. right? So I'm drinking. We about got half of a fifth of vodka knocked down. So we already tipsy. So this dude is a big dude. He used to robbing dudes and everything like that. So he sized this dude up and he was ready to rob him. So I'm like, he started talking to him like, yeah, we need some money, man, and all that. And I'm kind of tipsy myself. So I'm like, yeah, I'm like chiming in a little bit. So he felt like we was gonna rob him and the dude I was with probably was gonna rob him. Cause it was a perfect road to rob somebody. And it was late at night and there wasn't nobody around. It was a perfect situation to rob this person. I'm just being transparent of the situations I've been in. So he punched me. This right here in New York. He punched me in my stomach cause now I realize why he did it. To throw the whole situation off. To kind of like, he felt like he'd just punch me, take his chances with me, cause the other dude was big, right? If he would have hit him, he would have halfway killed that dude, bro. But he thought, let me just swing on him just to throw it off, right? So he swung on me, and I'm mind you, I'm already tipsy on vodka. I'm feeling real good. That good feeling, like when you come outside, you feel good and loose. I was feel like that. So like, this dude punched me in my stomach. I'm like, oh, remind you, I'm drunk, I'm tipsy. This is out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I ain't even really say nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, or something like that. I punched him on the side of his head because he was walking away. I punched him on the side of his head like 3 or 4 times. He fell in the street. I just one hand just over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. I think the dude thought I was gonna kill him. Cause he was like, is that necessary? That's what in other words, that's enough. But I don't think he probably would have thought I wouldn't answer to that's enough. I beat him so good because I was good and tipsy on vodka. I beat that man real good, boy. That was one of the best fights of my life. He got one hit. That's all he got. He got one hit and that was it. I got over top of him, just beat him down all in the street. I beat the jacket off of him, no lie. That's how I nipped my hand. And I could still got the nip on my hand because I hit him in the mouth and his teeth nipped me, right? I was hitting him all in his face, everywhere. So the dude that was with me, that went to school with 50 Cent, he was like, is that necessary? He stood back on the block and watched because we was literally in the streets. Literally, I'm beating this dude down in the streets. In a street. In the middle of the street. No cars is coming. It was perfect. Nobody was dead. Nobody was saying nothing. It was just me and this dude, one-on-one. Like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm beating him good, boy. The dude that was with me just stood back on the block, just like an OG. Yeah, man. He's sitting back watching. He talking about, yeah, man, is that necessary? He's supposed to be on my side. He talking about, is that necessary? But now I understand fighting more as an older guy. Basically, he was saying that's enough. That's basically what he was saying. So that's how he said it. And that kind of pulled me off of it a little bit. He knew what to say. He knew what to say. He was like, is that necessary? Cause he was already down. But that's what kind of fighter I think I am. I don't know when to stop. I just kept hitting him. And that's what, he pulled me. He said, yo, is that necessary? So I walked away like it was a crime. Like it was a crime scene, because that's assault. I walked away like it was a crime. I was in crime time. I just walked past the dude I was with. I just walked past him. He was just standing there still looking at the dude. I walked past him off the block and went back in the house. Mind you, I'm still tipsy. I'm still good and tipsy on vodka. So I go back in the house and for some reason I came back out there with weapons. No, hold up. I went up the other way up. I think I was still trying to find cigarettes or something. was with, this is a strange story. He was on the other side of the block, way up on the other side of the block, around the corner by another street, right? By another store. So he came around the corner. I done walked off, right? Like a crime. Like I done beat this dude down. He said, now the first thing he said to me when we got back up with each other, mind you, we lived in the same place together. We lived in the same place together. So we lived together in the same place. We had our own room or whatever. But we just, like I said, I just beat this dude up. And I'm walking around. So I'm walking in the opposite direction. But I see the dude that I live with. He was like, oh man, that turned me on, man. How you beat him up and all of that. That's all I get from black people. Every time black people see me in action, oh man, that turned me on. This is a street dude. Yeah, that turned me on, man. How you did that dude like that. Y'all know how black people talk. And if you done something in the streets, you done heard somebody black say talk to you like that. That's how people, oh yeah, man, that turned me on, man. How you did that dude, man. Like, so he was like, after that happened, he was like, let's go out and let's go rob them. Cause see, my personality is I'm usually with somebody that just sparked that at me. I like it one-on-one as far as doing crimes. Me and another person, and that's it. Not like 3 and 4 and 5 people, just me and another person. The respect level is good that way, and you can trust people you can trust the other criminal that way. As soon as you got one other person, there's 3 people, that dude could be talking to the other dude and all kind of stuff. And it's not that same high respect level. When the politics come in and maybe he like that other person more or whatever, just little petty stuff like that. And you not getting your respect and y'all doing crimes together. You see what I'm saying? See, when it's you and another person, it's that man-to-man respect as far as doing crimes, right? So that's usually how it's been for me. I did my first felony when I was like 16 years old, right? That's the first time I did a felony. And it was me and my cousin. We broke in the house and stole some guns and everything. So that was my first felony that I did. Okay, so I just always liked it like that, when it was just like me and somebody else doing crimes, and that's it. Just not a whole clique of dudes, just me and another dude. It's just better that way. So when he said that, it was just, I was on board. He was like, let's go rob that dude. And like 2 pit bulls, that's how I become. 2 pit bulls taste blood. I already beat him up. We was already hyped, and we was tipsy too. So I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go do it. So I went back and got the weapons. I'm the one that had weapons. I went back and got weapons, and we looked to go rob this dude. We went back where I beat him up. This is how tipsy we was. We went back to where he could have called the police, but we didn't care. We didn't think about it. We were so tipsy, we went back where I beat him up. We went all the way back, looking for him. And we probably were so tipsy, he might have been up on 5 blocks and seen us coming, especially the big dude, and he probably got off the block. We probably wasn't even paying attention when we first hit the scene. Like the same strip we was on, we probably ain't paying attention. He probably was on the block, sitting down or something, and seen us coming and walked off the block. It could have been that easy for him to get away because we was tipsy. So we walked around looking for him, and we couldn't find him, right? So then the dude I was with was like, well, let's go rob. Let's go find some people to rob. So I'm with that too. So me and him got on the bus. Like, this is like now at this point, it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So me and him got on the bus. We sitting on the bus, not even talking to each other, just tipsy, crazy tipsy. Like, once we got off the bus to where we was gonna go rob people, this woman, I can't make this up, this Latino woman was yelling across the street as soon as we got off the bus. So I'm like, why is it? I'm confused. We just got off the bus. She probably seen us get off the bus. And it's, mind you, it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I got a duffel bag with weapons, these German knives, which means it's a full blade with no handle. So you can't break off the handle. It's steel, no blade knives. Beautiful. Now these days, I would appreciate that. I just bought it because that's all I could get at the time. I was staying over in Jamaica the first time in Queens, and I went to a Target and got those, right? It was like 4 in a set with no handle. It was straight steel, beautiful. You couldn't break it off. That was the point. You couldn't break off the blade because it was all one piece of steel. And so I had those in a duffel bag. And don't you know, this woman started talking junk to us, right? She don't know I just beat this dude up. We looking to rob people. She didn't know this. She didn't know this. I don't know why she talked to 2 black dudes in the middle of the night. It was crazy. So I was like, she started yelling just like a New York woman. Yeah. I'm like, yo, man, I'll do this to you. I'm talking to her because I'm tipsy. And I already beat somebody up. I'm like primed up, bro. Primed up. So then she must have got intimidated. I must have went a little too hard. So then she waved the police down. She waved them down like a taxi. I remember her hand waving it down like a taxi. See, I can recall, even when I'm tipsy, I still can recall everything that happened in most cases. If I'm drunk, I still can tell you what happened. And it's not a lot of people that can do that. So, anyway, I start drinking before that happened, obviously, right? Tipsy, whatever, right? And so, after this woman started talking to me, right? After this woman started talking to me, I can recall everything that happened. She started waving down the police. She started waving down the police, right? She started waving down the police. And when she was waving down the police, they came over to me. She pointed me out right across the street. She pointed me out to the police, right? I'm like, we just like kind of standing there. Before we could even move, she already done talked to the police and waving the police down and whatever. Police came right over there to us, man. But I don't know how we didn't just say, yo, we didn't do anything. Like, why am I being searched? We didn't even think to do that. She told them that we was menacing her. We was threatening her or something like that. She said something to that effect. The police came right across the street like a cartoon. They came right across the street, right? They came right across the street. Next thing you know, they putting us against the wall. My friend is resisting. He's resisting the whole position. He's resisting. I'm like, he's a big dude. So I'm worried about him. So he don't get hurt. You know, this is a big dude. I'm like, yo, don't resist, man. Don't resist. Because he was kind of resisting arrest. Because he ain't do nothing. I'm the one talking to this woman. So really, he ain't have the fight. I beat up a dude. I'm talking to this woman. It's all me that night. He ain't done no crime. So that's why he was kind of resisting. Which I understand, but the police, you know how they are, bro. They see a big dude, they gonna get intimidated. You know what I'm saying? And they might hurt you. They might be quicker to do something because you big. This dude was that big. So while I'm against the wall, I'm looking over at him. See, while I'm tipsy, I'm doing all of this. I don't lose my mind when I drink. I'm looking over at him. I'm like, yo, don't resist, bro. Don't resist. So eventually, you know, I got arrested. He got arrested. They let him go because he ain't do nothing, right? She pointed me out. She said it was me. I had to go to the precinct that night. So I'm just like, I'm asking, what's the charges? You know what I'm saying? Besides the weapons. Because I'm used to getting locked up, so I'm not scared of that. I'm not scared of that. So I'm like, what's the charges? And the cop is like, menacing with knives. That's a charge, actually. Menacing with knives. I didn't pull a knife out. I didn't have a knife in my hand. So how could I be menacing you with knives? And so when I went to the precinct, nobody was in there. It was a slow night. In a small precinct, nobody was in there, literally. Mind you, the dude already done left. The other dude already done left. They let him go. So I'm just raving about how I'm, mind you, I'm tipsy. So now I'm in the lights of the precinct and everything. So I'm like, I done beat this dude up. I don't go to prison. I don't go to jail for that. I got away with that, right? Yeah. So after that, I'm now in the precinct like, yo, man, how's this menacing with knives and everything? And I ain't even pull a knife on this person or whatever. They like, come on, calm down. We get it, calm down. So I beat that charge. Long story short, I beat that charge. I didn't get arrested. I got arrested that night. I had to go through the whole, the bookings and all of that. I had to go to the hospital because my hand, the next morning, I stayed in there from like 7 o'clock, that same precinct. Then they sent me to the big jail in Queens, right? Where everybody go. The next morning, over to the next day, my hand was swollen like a golf ball, bro. I beat that dude up that bad that the police had to take me to the hospital. Then I had to go back to the precinct. So I got them kind of stories. My hand was so messed up, it was excruciating pain. My hand was in so much pain. The next morning, cause I was tipsy when I beat him up. The next morning, man, my hand, when I sobered up, my hand was in so much pain, bro. I had to go to the hospital. I couldn't take it. I went to the hospital to see if my hand was broken. The police even said, yo, your hand could be broken. I said if I hit him a couple more times, I think my hand would have been broken. They ain't had no charge on that. I ain't getting no charge on that. That was the same night though. So what happened was I went to the hospital. They seen my hand wasn't broken. I thought it was broken. That's how bad it was. They x-rayed my hand, everything, so my hand was good. I had to have the police there with me. I went back to the jail, the bookings, and seen the judge like 12 o'clock that night. It was an all-day affair. All-day affair, buddy. But a couple months went by. A handful of months went by and it fell off. You know how they tell you, stay out of trouble, it falls off in 4 months, right? So that's what happened. I got the menacing with knives charge or whatever. My lawyer kept in contact with me. She beat the charge without me even being there. So that's probably the most serious charge besides weapon charges that I got from that night. But we ain't get caught trying to rob that dude or beat up that dude. That was the main thing I'm glad we didn't get arrested for. But yeah. But you should be able to carry weapons, man. That's like, see me, I'm that type of dude that talk to the police when I get locked up. I talk to the police and I let them know, bro, listen, man. You gotta have weapons out here. Cause some people crazy, bro. Like this dude just talking through my door just now, talking about don't knock on his door. Man, don't listen, buddy. Let me tell you something. I don't talk to nobody in this building, including you. The only time I talk to you is when I checked you, and you can't come back from it. You ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing pertaining to what I was talking about, which is you slamming these doors. You didn't say nothing technically to that. You ain't say nothing against it. Okay? Once you didn't respond to that, listen, you're not the man that I am. That's the bottom line. Okay, so anything he just said at my door, this person might got mental sickness issues. Listen, I don't care, bro. I don't care. Cause see, in California, I know for sure they don't care if you're crazy. Cause you're gonna be crazy. You gonna realize the streets. No matter how crazy you are, you're gonna recognize to stay out the streets. If you so crazy, you shouldn't be out here. That's real. Your family should have pulled you from the streets, and you shouldn't be looking in the face of no real niggas anyway. If you crazy, you should be somewhere among these other crazy people. See, this is what happened in the shelter system when they don't differentiate homeless from crazy people. Cause the crazy people think they like me. You ain't like me. You know how I know? Cause you ain't got no weapons, and I do. Okay, you just crazy. That's all. And I'm not intimidated by that, cause I know what can handle crazy people. Weapons. Weapons put you right in your place. And that's that. That's all. That's all, bro. Ain't nothing else to it. But see, this person just saying something through my window, through my door, right? Long as they don't come through that door, I have legal right to kill that person. And I told the managers here, I already told them that. They already know I'm 100, bro. They can't say, oh yeah, he ain't say nothing about. I told the people the last time the person came through my door, I said I could have killed that person. This is considered my apartment to New York. To you, this might be a shelter. But if I can lock the door behind myself, this is considered my space. If you cross that threshold, I have legal right to kill you. That's why listen, man. You can't be fake and talk like this, bro. You can't be. I'm past them levels, man. You definitely barking up the wrong tree, buddy. I'm telling you right now. I'll give you what you need. Listen, you want smoke? I got plenty of it. I got plenty of it, bro. Bust your lungs with this smoke. I'll bust your lungs with these packs over here. I'm just saying, bro, because like this person just said something, and you probably could hear it in the video. See, the last time I checked somebody, I had it on video. I still got it. Now, if I was a rat, I would. When the police came, I hid my weapon. That's all I did. But this person came through my door, had an altercation with somebody else. But when the police came, I heard the police came. When they was coming, I just hid my weapon. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was concerned about. But if I was really like a snitch, I could have said, yo, I got the video where this person broke through my door, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But I didn't even say nothing to the police because I ain't care. I ain't care. I made my point like I always do. I always make my point and people feel some type of way. Listen, bro. Listen, you ain't dealing with no boy. Okay? I'm not a boy over here. I know you as black people used to treating other niggas like boys. Okay? I got a grown son. My son is grown. My son is 19 years old, buddy. So imagine me playing games with you and my son is grown. Don't ever speak to me. Don't ever act like you speaking to me. That's how I carry myself. I don't speak to nobody in here. I don't talk to nobody on no terms about nothing. About food, about the shelter, about this building. I talk to no one. Meaning when you ask me for a cigarette, I don't smoke. Even if I did, I don't smoke. I don't have no alcohol, no drugs. I don't have nothing for you. No clothes, no suit, no forks, nothing. Don't ask me for nothing. And that's how I like to keep it. I don't talk to nobody. That's how I keep it. So I know this person is not aware. They stupid and coming into an environment they don't know nothing about. Well, I already done checked somebody with weapons in here. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you're coming into. You know what I'm saying? You want to be hard, but you're not, bro. You can't. I done lived in California. I lived everywhere, bro. I know you ain't hard because you talk too much. And you step to people and you don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about me. That's how I know you stupid. I don't listen. I don't step to nobody unless it makes sense. If you slamming doors around here and nobody does that, I can see if it was already going on. Nobody slammed doors around here like that. Not me, not nobody. Okay, so we ain't gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. I already done put in a complaint. Little do you know, I done covered my bases just in case I gotta do something to you. I already done covered my bases and emailed the people at HASA to let them know you closing these doors and slamming these doors. So if I do catch a charge, I already done put my complaint in. See, I'm professional now with mine, buddy. I got it all lined up. If I have to do something to you, I already done emailed them and let them know that you was a problem in this building. Okay, so that's the professional way to go about it. So then when the police line all of this up, oh, you done emailed, that ain't snitching, that's covering my bases. Snitching is talking on drug dealers. That's what snitching is. This ain't Bart Simpson. Snitching is talking about drug dealers. I don't tell on drug dealers. That's the main hustle going on in the hood. That's what they can't tolerate. That's why they can't tolerate it, because it's the main hustle going on in the hood. Snitching to me is telling on drug dealers. You see how bad that is? Snitching on drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody ever can say I did that. Ever. I ain't never thought about it. I ain't never been in no situation like that. That's what's bad right there. You snitching on drug dealers? So you got these lames, man, into witchcraft and everything. That's why they mind is in this situation. They ain't street niggas at all. And they ain't fooling me by acting like they thinking they are. You a misguided human being. You know what I'm saying? You thought you could get your reputation in the streets by being some witchcraft person, and you see nobody don't respect it. See, that's what these lame niggas realize. Okay, nobody don't respect no witchcraft. We respect dudes that catch bodies. We respect that. I do. You know what I mean? That's what people respect, as in they take caution to. In the terms respect as in to pardon a person. You're going to pardon this person that you know will catch a body. Witchcraft, that ain't nothing to me, man. I don't care nothing about you being evil. Evil is an attitude to me. Evil is an attitude. Catching a body is evil. That's what evil is. Witchcraft, it's evil to those who, I don't know. You ain't been around no killers. You ain't been around nobody like that. I guess that's evil to you. To me, that's an attitude, a malicious attitude where you trying to do something to this person. A black man done been like that around women. You get with the wrong woman and that feel like witchcraft. Only real black men know. You know what I'm saying? Malicious, doing all kind of stuff, crazy stuff and all this. What's the difference? A woman is like a mad black woman is like witchcraft. That ain't nothing to me. That's what I'm saying. So then you put it together with these lanes walking around yelling and talking to the air, and ain't nobody saying nothing to them. That's like a female to me. Right? To me, that don't intimidate me at all. I treat you like a female. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing. That's how I see it. That's why I don't take it seriously. Now, some of these other crazy people, you might have thought, I don't even step to people if it don't make sense. Like that situation, that don't make sense to me. Somebody saying something about they dough and no, you ain't seen me do. You must be imagining things, buddy. I don't know nobody here. I don't do drugs. I don't have sex. Okay, so I would have no need for you to knock on your door. I got food. I got everything I need. I don't need you. So why would I knock on your door? Why would I knock on your door? No, that don't make no sense. And then you the person slamming the doors. Why would I knock on your? Why would I come to your door for? You know what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So but that's the difference between niggas and real niggas. Niggas is just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? And we know that. But what the mistake that a nigga make is that he think he a real nigga because you ignorant. That not to me. I've been esteemed as a person that would take care of my business for a long time. I'm a Christian now, but you don't have to believe it, but I'm a soldier. I done live with real military. See, what that person right there don't know, and this is why I keep saying this stuff, because the newcomers don't know no better, buddy. I don't live with military. I live with military. So do you think I care about your opinion? That's first and foremost. Do you think I value your opinion? And I don't live with real military that done tours and killed people. Not only have I been around killers, it don't stop there. Because in the streets, some people just been around killers. I've been around real military that done real tours and killed real people. And I'm living with these dudes, eating with them and living with them, everything. Soldiers, military. And I got respect in those situations. I done offered a military person to a fight that done caught bodies. This dude done killed people. And I'm challenging him. You see what I'm saying? See, that's why I can sit back on people like that. Because, I know, listen, I'm going to just wait till I got to defend myself. But as far as me and you, like, seeing eye to eye, you being somebody, I feel like you're not worth it to me. That's basically it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in a nutshell, I live with military, bro. I tell police that and they gonna respect it. I tell anybody that in this country. If you don't know what the highest respect is in America, it's military. They got honor, they got good, they'll kill you for sure. They can kill you easy. So if you you think you're tough with a military person, it ain't gonna get you far, buddy. They ain't gonna be impressed. Let's put it like that. And I'm not impressed. I've lived with military. Oh yeah, if you lived with military, you'd be saying the same thing. People that kill people in the military, they did tours. So imagine me being in these politics, these level of politics. That's what it is. So when you talk to these people in this building, and these niggas don't know that. I'm talking about the ones that work here. They don't know that. They don't know this. They don't know I lived with military. They don't know that. You think I'm talking loud based on the streets, and that's it. I live with military, buddy. You gotta respect it. If this person got respect for the military, that's higher than the streets. That's higher than thugs and gangsters. Let's understand this. It's higher than the respect of a soldier that done real tours. Is greater than the respect of thugs and gangsters that shot around in the streets. You looking eye to eye with a man that literally killed a lot of people. He was trained to kill. And that's who you getting respect from. Somebody that didn't go to jail for it. He ain't go to jail for it. And he respects you. Now, when you walk away with that kind of respect, what you gonna think about street respect? No, it's not that much to me. It ain't no, as a man my age, it ain't really nothing to me. I found higher respect, which is military. You can't make it up. You either done it or you didn't. You ain't live with military, people that, even if you did live with military, did they do tours? Because you got some people that steal valor and they act like they did tours and they didn't. They act like they went and fought wars and they didn't. So you got them type of dudes that talk about they military, and you ain't done no tours. So, but you insinuating it to the civilians in America that like almost to say you done tours and you haven't. So for me, I asked you, did you do some tours? Did you know what I'm saying? Man, this dude I was living with, he told me like I would play certain songs. He'd be like old school, because I play old school music. So I played like this old school rock and roll song, right? So he was like, oh yeah, that song right there, I was blowing up my enemies when I was playing that. This dude telling me he was listening to music while he was killing people. This is real life, bro. This is real life. This ain't hip hop. This is not hip hop, man. I live with real military, bro. That's why I don't take that's why I don't take well to people playing games, and it don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to me, bro. You can't put no pressure on me and make me feel anything, because I done been around too many killers. I take you as a joke. I treat you like a joke. That's all I'm saying. See, America ain't gonna tell you that either. That I live with military, but they know about it. I live with military. So okay, so whatever you're talking about as far as all American and being American, I lived around these real Americans, these real American soldiers. That's who people respect, not these politicians. That's why I'm trying to show people. It comes all the way back to military being the top number one respect. People don't even respect these politicians. No, people don't respect these politicians. No, they don't respect Trump. They don't respect none of these politicians. But you respect what? Military. That's this country. I don't know about other countries, but this country, top respect is military. That's good as you can get. Streets, criminals ain't the best respect. That ain't they doing crimes. Let's remember that a thug is a criminal. Let's remember that a gangster is a criminal. Okay? You ain't gonna get respect from everybody. A soldier is gonna command respect from the average person with a brain on with their head on right. So for black people, understand, buddy, whatever kind of respect you trying to give, I already done got it. That's higher than yours, and you're not going to change that narrative. You know what I'm saying? I can be well-spoken and carry weapons, and that's what black folks get deceived. You get deceived with people like me, buddy, because listen, I'm well-spoken and I carry weapons. I articulate myself properly and I carry weapons, buddy. And it's more dangerous than a thug or a gangster, because I'm going to just do what I got to do to protect myself while other people go through the theatrics of slamming doors or whatever because you butthurt about America and butthurt about your little secret societies. I don't care about that. I know that's what it is. And I don't care. I don't care that you butthurt about them secret societies. They shouldn't have played with me. It's a law of the land. And you're a boy in the law of the land. You among boys in the laws of the land. And you can't come out here and play with people and then think, what you thinking? This the real world. This ain't a controlled environment. This is the real world where there's no holds barred. There's no rules, so to speak. That's what you in. That's what situation you in. The police can't get you out of this. Nobody can get you out of this. And because they know I get respect from the military. That's like people will hurt you for me. Okay, they'll hurt you because of me. For what you playing around me. You're going to have problems. Wait till you go outside. You're going to have problems. Listen, that's what it is. I can't hold people back because they know you beneath me. That's why. And all that slamming doors and whatever you want, bro, listen. You beneath me. You are beneath me. And how I know for sure is how you carry yourself. That's how I know. And see, I don't base my situation. I don't make these empty assumptions and observations. And it ain't got no weight to it. How a person carry themselves, you done told them to stop slamming the doors around here. And you don't even know what lifestyle people live. You don't know what they're doing. People might be preparing to go to work. They work third shift, you know what I'm saying? They got to sleep all day. You don't know what people, and you slamming doors like a little kid. Nobody don't think that's gangster. Nobody, no. Nobody. Do you think it's gangster? You out your mind if you think that's gangster. That ain't gangster at all. It ain't even ratchet to me. That's not even ratchet. That's just ignorance. But see, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Some people be raised in the suburbs. That's why they confused. See, you thought I was. See, let me explain something to you. Where you see my mom and where you see my stepdad at now. By the time they moved there, I was a grown man almost. I was 17. I was basically a grown man. I turned 18 in months' time of moving there. Right? Literally. I moved there after my 17th birthday. I was almost a grown man moving there. 1 year, I moved. I moved out when I was 18. So I never was over there and consistently and lived over there consistently. I was always in and out from the time I was 18. I ain't never stayed over there for years and years and years over my mom's house. See, that's what happened. That's how I got separated from the family, because I never stayed over there year in and year out. I came in from out of town, got myself together, went back out. That's how I always did it. So my point is, if for these lames that went back and seen where my family comes from, listen, bro, we moved over there when I was almost a kid, a grown man. When I was months away from being a grown man, bro. Which means I was raised in the hood. My brother was raised in the suburbs. That's why we're two different individuals. That happens with siblings. Okay, in the beginning, this one of them was raised in the hood, the other one was raised in the suburbs because they was younger. So for these lames and the police and everybody in black community that go over there and see where my mom was at, we moved over there when I basically was raised. That's what I'm trying to show you. And then I didn't even stay over there for a whole 2 years. I left when I was 18. So then 2 more years, I left and went to California. So I went to LA when I was 20 years old. So I basically was a kid on the West Coast. That was in 2001. Okay? 2001, 25 years ago, this year. That's when the first time I went to Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I mean, come on. I was 20 years old when I went to LA. I got all kind of heart just for doing that, because I know you're scared to go to LA, but you're going to close doors and slam doors around here like you hard. You know, come on, man. You ain't fooling nobody. You can fool them white folks. You can't fool me. See, some people be wrong about people. But I'm really like this for real. You know, am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I mean, I grew up selling crack when I was a kid. You know, I grew up selling crack. Okay, so how can you ever see me as a gay boy as far as my mentality when I was a little dope boy when I was like 16? Shooting guns, getting robbed. I was 16 getting robbed at gunpoint when I was only like 16 years old. So that's what was happening in my neighborhood. Okay? Then we moved to another neighborhood, and I moved out of that neighborhood and went to California. So I never really, my point is, I never settled into this like this suburban living where these other people come from. That's why I'm like this. My mentality is like this. I'm gonna still value certain principles, and I'm gonna grow on those principles, you know, if that makes sense. See, people didn't realize, even though you wasn't the main drug dealer in the neighborhood, you could be the main one that got everything. Got all the principles, got all the heart, got all the, you know, all the goods. See, some people don't realize that. You're gonna do the obvious and think, well, this big drug dealer over here is the one, you know, that know about these streets or whatever. But it could be the other person also. It could be more than one. You know, for you though, you're gonna point out the obvious, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, and you sleep on other people. You know what I'm saying? I don't sleep on nobody, buddy. I don't sleep on nobody. You know, so if you're from the suburbs and you know, and you became gay and you know what I'm saying, and you used to turning up on these little white folks or them little suburban black kids over there, this ain't what this is over here, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'm from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. I come from all black neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, where they rob white people and they rob Hispanic and Latinos in the neighborhood I come from. People talk about Brooklyn, but they don't rob no white people over here. Not, you know what I mean, bro. Maybe at one time they did, not now. Maybe, you know, maybe they did in certain spots, but you know, Brooklyn ain't no all black community. It's not. It never has been. But if you watch the media and everything, you'll think this is an all black community. You go down south, you got nothing but niggas in the whole neighborhood. That's it. And so you can't fool them, you know. You can't fool them at all. If you ain't no nigga, you know, you ain't no street person, you ain't gonna fool them at all. The streets come to me in my neighborhood for guns. They come to my neighborhood, they come to my house for gun ammo. That's what I was known for. Yeah, he might have some gun, he might have some ammo. lame. Some people lame, but some people, oh yeah, he might have some ammo, some stuff like that. My first felony, man, I broke in the house and stole guns. That tells you what type of criminal I was from day one. We stealing guns, plural, more than one. And then my cousin, the person I did it with, we hit the place more than one time. I held the guns for him. So I was accessory the second time. That's a felony too. Accessory to stealing guns, registered guns. That's all as a teenager. That's all before I got in my 20s. That's what I'm saying. I make myself clear, bro. Like who I am. If you make mistakes, that's you. That's it. You can't be talking to me because you don't know me. I know you ain't talking to me. You don't know me enough to be talking to me. I don't pay no attention because it can't apply to me. You done talk to somebody else about me, and them some suburban black people. They suburban to me. Okay, then you can watch all this stuff on TV, but you ain't got no principles. That's what we talking about. And that little turn up that you got, man, listen, I'll shred that to pieces, man. Literally. That little turn up you got, we'll shred to pieces, bro. I'll shred that to pieces. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying, beware of the dog, bro. Don't speak into this room. Ain't nobody saying nothing to you. I know what you're really mad about. I'm smart enough to know you mad because your country gone. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't have came out here. You shouldn't have came out here playing with people. That's what happened to your country. They played with the wrong people. We don't feel sorry for them. That's it. Case closed. If you real, you gonna respect it. Like, okay, well, hey, listen. If you lame, you gonna try to make up for it. Ain't no way to make up for it. They came out here playing with people they ain't know, and this happened to them. This is what happened to them. Ain't nothing else hard to figure out. That's why I love my situation, cause it's easy to figure this out. It ain't complicated. You came out here listening to my brother. He was mad about his wife. He was mad about her, and he tried to get revenge because he a suburban little boy. He was raised in the suburbs. He's a suburban little boy. Don't let him fool you. Because when he was in the hood, he was too young to be doing something. He couldn't even hit the block, so he can tell you about being in the hood, but he was a little boy in the hood. He wasn't doing nothing. He ain't hit no blocks. He ain't sell no crack in our neighborhoods. Okay, and maybe when he left, okay, that don't count. Okay, because you shouldn't even be running to the hood when you done left the hood. I told about that. You done left the hood. Why you still trying to be down with the hood? You done left. That's how you know I evolve. I don't try to be out in ignorance and I don't gotta be a part of it. Yeah, I ain't one of them people. That's why I keep my distance. Cause once I came out the hood, I started to change, but I still had my growth kept going past the hood. Does that make sense? But I changed. And I went to LA. I went to the West Coast. See, that's my story. I was a 20-year-old kid on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So that's my story. So I know a lot of East Coast people still scared to go to LA. I did it at 20 years old. You can't tell me I ain't competent. I drive cars. I had a license, driver license. I just gotta say all this stuff. Cause some people don't drive cars, they don't do nothing. Their name ain't never been on no real lease. They ain't paid no real bills. I done had 2 apartments outside of a program. That's why I don't mind going through this. I done had better apartments with ovens and everything and carpet. I don't even expect that to be the case. There ain't gonna be no oven. It's gonna be a hot plate. What we call a hot plate in the South. That's a hot plate. I done had apartments with ovens and everything, carpet, everything. Paying rent, working and paying rent. Not, EBT is paying my rent. No. That's why I don't mind doing it now. I'm a perfect fit for people that America want to help. Somebody that have helped themselves before and done fell on hard times. Some of these people in here, they ain't never had no apartment on their own. They ain't never drove no cars. They ain't never paid no bills. Okay, you know, that ain't me. That ain't me. And I don't get with nobody that can't pay no bills. I done had women that done had apartments and cars. They either have a car and both. A car, an apartment, or an apartment. I don't deal with no woman ain't got her own. Ain't got nothing, ain't got no pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. Ain't got none of that going on. I don't deal with nobody like that. Cause see, that's the people that's absent-minded. See, they thought I was one of them. Nah, I'm just passing through, bro. I'm just passing through. And these lame niggas can't stand it because everything I did worked. You know what I'm saying? I'm just passing through. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. I done drove car. I can drive. I don't have a driver license. You have to say that because some people are, for whatever reason, they can't drive. They might be slow, they can't look around, they can't drive, they can't do it. Their coordination can't make them do it and bring it together. I'm not one of them people. I'm not one of them people, bro. So, that's just how it gotta be understood. That's what gotta be understood. I don't crash out. I crash you out, but I don't crash out. I ain't one of them people who will catch a body and kill themselves. I crash somebody else out and still live. That's real. Still live, still smile, we see a better day after catching a body. I'm serious. I've been around people who done it. You ever look in the eyes of somebody caught bodies and they smiling and they enjoying their life after they done killed somebody? I have. I done seen it. I done seen people enjoy their life after they kill somebody. Have you ever been around an individual like that? I have. So it's just you can go fool them white folks, but you can't fool a man like me, bro. I'm from North Carolina. You thought I was fake because you didn't do your homework properly. The truth is, if you don't talk to me, you can't do your homework properly. See, that's what niggas is finding out. You can't find out who I am around me. That's what this new hip hop community do. These 50 Cent type of individuals. They go around niggas and try to figure out niggas. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, that person still could be a threat either way it go. I don't care what you heard. Shit, that part, man. I don't care what you heard. You need to come talk to me if you want to know me. You want to know me, you talk to me. That's what a real man gonna do anyway. A boy gonna go around like we in high school trying to get information on a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you come out better sending a consistent spy to find out all the information. And then like real stories, because a real nigga gonna kick real stories to his companions. I mean, whether it's the homies or somebody that they in a relationship with. So you come out better having sending some fake homies or one of these plant girlfriends to a person like me. You could have figured out everything you needed to know. That would have been a better fit than trying to play the 50 Cent role, going around a nigga trying to figure out a nigga. You ain't gonna figure nobody. I'm too complicated. I'm too smart. Not complicated, but I'm too complex. That's a better word. I'm too sophisticated. That's another better word. For you to find out about me around me. See, that's nigga stuff. You're gonna find out who I am from around with the Freemasons and all of them. How they know who I am? Unless I was a part of them. You know what I mean? Unless I was a part of them. They don't put no fear in my heart. I live with a Freemason. I live with one. I ain't no little dude. I live with a Freemason who showed me his certification and all of that stuff. So then you do the balance. You do the honors of balancing this out. Do the honors of balancing this out. Okay, even when it comes to Freemasons, he even lived with one of them. This dude done live with military, Freemasons. He done been around all these other secret societies. You know what I mean? Let's put it into the real context of the real world. Because I think you think I ain't never, you acting like, at least you acting like I ain't been around no Freemason a day in my life. But I ain't singing songs about it, as I like to say. I'm not singing songs about it. Okay, but I live with one that was doing for me, getting me what I need. You know, that's all I'm saying. So then you gotta update yourself on the information. Okay, while we talk about Freemason, he don't live with one. My point is, man, ain't nothing. I mean, I ain't gonna say it ain't nothing I ain't seen, but I'm a pretty cultured person among all these things we talk about. I done seen a Freemason and it don't mean nothing to me. I wasn't inquisitive about it, about who he was and what he doing. I was not inquisitive about any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so I didn't ask any questions, in other words. That's what inquisitive mean. Inquisitive means a person that asks questions, right? I wasn't inquisitive about Freemasonry at all, but I lived with a person that showed me their certification and all of that. And I wasn't inquisitive about it at all. I wasn't intrigued or anything. I wasn't impressed or nothing. And at the time, I'm just living the way I'm living, so it's not parallel or complimenting of how I'm living, not to me. So I didn't care about it. I was living fast. When the person told me this, I was living fast, so I wasn't even, in my mentality, where I wasn't even thinking about, I didn't care nothing about what he talking about some Freemasons. Because when you out here struggling and everything like that, do you care about these people talking about information? Think about it, bro. You care about some information? You care about information, or you care about the struggle? You care about information, or you care about the struggle? Because keep in mind, these Freemasons sit back and watch all this stuff happen. Yeah, they did. That's the bottom line. And you can talk about black Freemasons, and I'm going to still say the same thing. People sat back and watch all this stuff happen. You can't even tell me somebody that's a famous Freemason that we all respect. The only one you're going to talk about is Martin Luther King Jr., and they made him a Freemason after he died. He didn't live as a Freemason. You can talk about Jesse Jackson, but then I'm going to show you that most people don't really respect him on the same level as Malcolm X or MLK. They don't respect him the same. No. They ain't respect Jesse Jackson the same, man. It's no Freemason that you can show me that commanded the same respect as Malcolm X or MLK. Nobody you can show me. So as far as we go, I don't really see anybody that inspired me that come from Freemasons. Not really, because I consider myself a student of Malcolm X, not MLK. MLK was raised by Freemasons. His daddy was one. His granddaddy was a Freemason. But with those people, they got so much information they don't know what to apply. That's the problem with them. For example, because MLK was raised by Freemasons, he got all this information, right? He got all this information. He tried to live like Gandhi. He tried to live like Gandhi in America. Based on his history was, I'm gonna have a non-violent approach like Gandhi. I'm gonna use this approach like Gandhi, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but in so many words, that's what he said, right? You can't approach white racist people like Gandhi. It didn't work. That's the bottom line. It did not work. Trying to present yourself as Gandhi to violent people, they don't care if you non-violent, they still will kill you. As a matter of fact, most black people was non-violent that they killed. They killed non-violent people. They didn't kill violent people. They killed violent black people? No, they killed any black people. So he ain't gonna see you no differently. He ain't gonna acknowledge that. He ain't even gonna know you doing that. Because all of us was like that. Now, if we was all violent, then he would notice that you're not violent. You follow me? So if we're all kind of non-violent, how he gonna know the difference? Most black people was nonviolent really back then. We fought when they put dogs on us or when they tried to fight us or challenge us like we supposed to, but like pro-violence or proactive against racist white people, we wasn't like that. So what was the difference? How did a racist person even see what you was doing? Is my point. So that's why, like, you know, I didn't follow Martin Luther King Jr. I followed Malcolm X. I follow his information. I'm a student of Malcolm X, not a student of Martin Luther King Jr. And it's not because he came from Freemasonry. They have so much, those type of people that's Freemasons or influenced by Freemasons. They got all this information and they just pick what they want to use. That's how I sum it up. You can't just pick what you want to use. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it make sense and make it work. You know, nonviolent in America don't work, buddy. And I try to deny the feeling. Malcolm X was right. He was right. You can't let people put hands on you. You can't let people play with you. You can't let people play in your face. Malcolm X said, if somebody put hands on you, send them to the graveyard. That's what Malcolm X said. If somebody put hands on you, send them to the graveyard, which means you don't care about catching no charges. See, that's why white folks didn't like Malcolm X, because he talked like that. You put hands on me, I'm gonna send you to the graveyard. But you respect him, right? Right. So then you gotta live in the real world, even as a Christian. You gotta think in terms of reality, man. Nobody should be putting no hands on you. If you can't talk, human beings are more sophisticated to where we should be able to communicate without violence, right or wrong. We should be able to communicate without violence. So it's no excuse. Now, animals can't communicate with other animals. But if you are a human being, you should be able to communicate and as a human and to avoid conflicts. So by the time someone's not sophisticated like that, or for whatever reason, then hey, listen, you gotta take care of your business. It's that simple. And I don't discriminate, you know, black, white, whoever it is. See, I'm raised up like that. I'm old school. How you know I'm old school? I went to see Prince, the musician, in concert. I'm one of them dudes. I was a Prince fan. I went to see Prince. I'm not one of these hippity hip hop, hippity. I love hip hop. I can rap. But you know what I mean, where it's corny, right? Nah, that's not selling out, bruh. Listen, I'm old school. I enjoyed music before hip hop. I enjoyed artists that came before hip hop. I'm from the 80s. You can't get me to just listen to hip hop. I'm from the 80s. Now, if you from the 2000s now, music wasn't, you know, it wasn't no good back then. I mean, you know, music ain't no good now. Back in my time, man, I grew up on Michael Jackson and Prince, Purple Rain, all that good stuff. So by the time I became a grown man, I went to see Prince live. I can say I actually been in the same arena with Prince. So that's what kind of person you're dealing with, man. So can you imagine? You can kind of size up who I am sexually when you know I listen to Prince. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. I'm a ladies' man. I love women. A Prince fan. What kind of a Prince fan is almost a type of man. It really is. It's a certain type of man, bro. And we all know that. That's culture here in this country. You know what I'm saying? So I went to see Prince live, everything like that. Listen, I can't help it that these dudes is fake. I can't help it that these dudes is lame. You know, I went to see Prince, you know, in concert and all of that. Now, you know, who you are, I don't know. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? So, people that really don't know how to pay attention to the world, you don't know what to apply. You don't know what to apply. I pay attention. If you tell me stuff like that, oh, you a Prince fan, I can size a person up real good off that. Yeah, you probably most likely a ladies man. You don't judge people. Because Prince got them looks and everything. You know, some men thought Prince was gay. Prince wasn't gay. Prince looked like he looked. He had a look. Okay, so that don't mean he was gay because he had a look. He was born like that. He you know, that don't make him gay. He had a good look. And some guys can never look. You can't look like that. You will look ridiculous trying to look like Prince. But some people can pull it off. You know, some people can pull off certain looks. And see, that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation. So, you know, that's the type of dude I am, man. You know, I'm not judgmental. I'm not open. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to men and whatever, you know, and everything. But look how people are with me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like, you know, and Prince was that crowd that we don't care how we look. You know how Prince was like, we don't care how we look, you know what I'm saying? And we don't care how people feel. Rick James too. We got braids in our hair. We don't care. you know what lyric I'm talking about. So I like, you know, I grew up on Rick. I like Rick James. I like Prince. You know what I'm saying? That's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might assume because I talk these street politics, but the best gonna come from that generation. Cause it was a philosophy behind that kind of music and those type of people. Anita Baker, Sade. That's what I listen to. Anita Baker, Sade. I done bought albums. I done paid money, CDs, not looking it up on YouTube. I can do it now, but I done bought Sade albums. Anita Baker music. I done bought Anita Baker. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, that's the type of dude I am. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, that's all I'm saying, bro. You know, when you raised on the best like that, man, you think some white boy out there gonna tell me who I am? You feel me? It's like, come on, bro. You just played yourself and you thought you was gonna make a fool out of me and you made a fool out of yourself. That's you see how easy it is to sum it up. Everybody gonna feel this way. Everybody gonna feel like this. You came out here playing with this dude. He's more cultured than you realize. You know, he's a better American than you realize. He done live with military and you didn't realize. I mean, come on. This dude done live with military. He done went to see Prince. He done lived all over the country. And if I ain't lived there, I've been through there. I done been through Chicago. I done been through Las Vegas. I done lived in Seattle. I done lived in 4 different places on the if you add on the streets in California. 4 different cities in California. Florida, I done lived in Florida, Tampa, and I'm from North Carolina. So you put it all together. I lived in New York, Harlem. I done lived in Harlem, right down the street from the Apollo. Come on. You can't even talk New York to me. I done lived in Staten Island, East New York, New Lots Avenue, Bed-Stuy. I was living in Bed-Stuy. Won't y'all tell these folks, bruh? I'm walking up and down Bed-Stuy, drinking, chilling, everything. I don't have no problems with real niggas. That's why I can go to Bed-Stuy. I don't have no problems. I done been through Marcy projects. I'm not saying it to boast. I'm just showing you my path and where I went. I'm not saying I chilled and bragging about chilling down. You know what I mean? You know the difference. This gives you an idea, okay. If you're smart, you realize, okay, if he passed through all those places and he seen all them people from even down there in Marcy, right here in Brooklyn, that's why this neighborhood, this is not the hood. This is not the hood. This is probably a police neighborhood or Freemasons or witchcraft neighborhood. All of it, right? This ain't Bed-Stuy, bro. So, I mean, somebody from the South might get scared of this type of neighborhood in Brooklyn just because it's Brooklyn, right? They gonna get scared of any neighborhood in Brooklyn. Me, I done lived in Bed-Stuy, bro. East New York. That's not the same thing, by the way. Bed-Stuy in East New York. Down there by Bradford and New Lots Avenue. Down there by the barber shop. On that end, going towards the train station over there, with the library across the street from the cemetery. Only if you live in East New York, you know what I'm talking about. I stayed on 126 with Sylvia's, the restaurant Sylvia. Everybody in Harlem know that. I was on the same block. I walk past the Apollo every day. And among all the black people in New York City, in Harlem, I used to work out at Central Park. Walk all the way to the back, walk around the lake, run around the lake. I live this stuff, man. These white folks come along and play with y'all like a clown, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. And then it ain't gonna change no narrative to black people. Even if you mad, we know why you mad. Because we played with you. We know that. Okay, so we ain't acting like retarded like we don't know what we done. Okay, so then we know why you mad. We will be mad too. Okay, we ain't confused about that. We just want to get down to the bottom of who you was, and now you know. Okay, I lived in Harlem. Okay, you know? Now you know? Yeah. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. I lived in Harlem, and you telling me I ain't black? You telling me you could think I'm racist and I lived in Harlem? No, you gonna say, just from him living in Harlem, by 126, right? I can see if it was somewhere down near Central Park. Okay, maybe he ain't with the hood, really. 126, right over from 125th, right there. That's the middle of it. That's the middle of Harlem. For everybody, most people, based off the strength of the Apollo right there. That's gotta be the center of Harlem because of the Apollo. Then you got Spanish Harlem. I was walking through all of that. Uptown, Spanish, Harlem, then Spanish Harlem, then downtown. I'm country. I was a country boy initially. I walk straight. I walk straight. I don't make no turns. Cause that way I know my way back. If I walk straight, how can I go wrong? I made one turn. Okay, one turn up here. Okay, I'm gonna pretty much know that one. I'm gonna figure that one out. All these turn, left, right. See, that's how you got in trouble. That's how you got robbed. You got robbed because you went left, right. Sure, I keep straight. That always served me right. I always seen good stuff. I always knew how to navigate through New York. I just keep straight. That's what I do. So I done walked from Harlem, Spanish Harlem. I seen somebody I knew from Spanish Harlem. He was like, yeah, look who we got here. I'm like, oh, I'm walking. You know how you walking through New York and everybody walking from block to block and like that. So I'm seeing this dude like, yo, what's up, man? So I see somebody that I knew from Brooklyn over there in Spanish Harlem. I was that type of dude. People know my face. I got that distinguished face, so it ain't nothing to hide. People just don't want to come to terms with the fact that, okay, this dude that done lived in all these places. Staten Island, I live in Staten Island too. I lived there too. The ferries, catching the ferries, I've done that. They don't want to come to terms with the fact that you play with somebody that you can't manipulate the narrative on. You can't make me look like a clown. You can't make me look like I'm some crazy person. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Harlem. Hey, listen, how I'm gonna be all in Harlem, black as it is, and fitting in with Harlem and chilling. You know what I'm saying? Put that together, man. Y'all just listen to these lames, bro, and that's all it is to it. It ain't nothing else gonna change. It ain't nobody see. It's some people that want to change that. They want to change the narrative of that. That's their mindset. Not I'm trying to hear the truth. No, I want to change what I hear. And that's what you got to distinguish between. You got to distinguish between the difference of people that want to change the narrative. These white people, they don't care what the truth is. You do. They don't. So of course, if they don't, they're going to tell lies. They're going to say things they can't prove because they don't care about the truth. They're bugged out. They suffer from psychosis. That's the diagnosis. I could be a psychiatrist. That's what I was told. I understand the mind very well. They suffer from psychosis, man. What's the other one? Antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder. That's what they suffer from. I would say 3 diagnoses: psychosis, antisocial personality disorder, and manic mental sickness diagnosis. Maniacs. If you look up the definition of a maniac, it's people that's excited to do crazy stuff. You know, that's all these people are running around here is maniacs by definition. Literally, they maniacs, bruh. That's all you dealing. You dealing with mental sickness more than anything else. And see, when you got somebody like me that is a soldier that's not mentally sick, you could get very deceived to think I won't protect myself. If I'm black, you know I will. That's what you should know. Okay, to a certain degree. To a certain degree. So man, like you just got maniacs and crazy people all in the atmosphere, and we ain't gonna let them act like it's something else. That's all it is. You want to be evil. That's the other thing too. I'm gonna do a whole video about this. People want to be evil, bro. Okay, you can't help somebody like that because no matter what you say about me, they just want to do evil, right? You got to be smart enough to know that. I can't help you be smart. I can't help you be smart as Americans, right? I can't help you there. I can't help you there. Okay, you got to be smart enough to know, okay, these people bent on being evil. That's how they get their reputation, man. That's how you need to hear it. That's 7 out. That's how they get their reputation. Is being evil. They can't come up and be hard and sell drugs and get robbed and do robberies or attempt to do robberies or do felonies like the rest of us. I've done felonies, man. I'm a felony nature. I'm not a criminal, but the type of things I do is felony in nature. I don't do petty. I don't do nothing petty. The real truth is, I don't. What kind of petty crimes have I ever done? Oh, boosting, but that was as a grown man. The last real crime I did. You want to know what the last real crime I did that I consider a real crime? The last real crime I did. See, you get past the rappers when we start in the fake thugs when we start talking about real crimes. Okay, what crimes you do? See, that's how you expose suckers. What crimes did you do? Now don't talk about your attitude. Don't talk about what you think. Don't talk about how you turn up. What crimes have you done? That's how we figure it all out. And what kind of criminals have you been around? Those two right there is very important because if you're around felons, if you a sucker, they gonna figure that out real quick, buddy. And they ain't gonna rock with you. It's gonna be a vibe. It's a certain thing. If it don't connect, you can't hide it. You can be a nice guy. I'm not saying you're a jerk, but you're not gonna be with no killers. You're a cool dude, but I ain't finna hang with you. And that's how they gonna think. So when you see somebody doing felonies, man, if you got a brain, ain't nobody gotta tell you nothing else. Because the reason why the prison system and the court system is on felons, because this is the science behind a felon. It don't matter what felony you done, right? This psychologically tells the community that you're capable of doing felony natured crimes, which means you can pretty much do any kind of crime, basically. If you do felonies, you would do any kind of crimes. I mean, you know what I mean. I ain't saying you would rape an old woman or something, but you know what I mean. You would do basically violent crimes. And basically violent crimes, if you get pushed just right, you probably will, every once in a blue moon, you might do some felonies here and there. That's what people gonna think about a person like you, because that's the truth. The last crime I did was we stole a car off the car dealership parking lot. That's a felony, buddy. We stole the car off the car dealership and we didn't get caught. I didn't serve no time in prison for it. Okay? That's the last felony I did. I didn't get caught. And I was the one driving the car. If the police had seen and we didn't know, they saw us, because it really wasn't no way of knowing all the way, and there is, especially when you do stuff like that. I would have been driving. The dude knew what he was doing. me drive the car. Because if we got caught, guess what? Who going to jail first? You, me. I would have went to jail. That's the last felony I did, bro. That tell you what type of criminal I am. When I do crimes. If I do crimes. We took a car off a car dealership. Fresh. A fresh car. We got away. We didn't get caught. Okay? When you talk to somebody like me, I want to hear crimes. You act like you hard. I want to. Where the crimes at? See, you thought I didn't have any. That's what I'm saying. How would you know? No pun intended. It's crimes. How would you know what I've done? You know what I'm saying? That's how corny our culture became. These street people, these New Yorkers, the rap music, the culture. You didn't know the last felony I did. You didn't know. You couldn't have knew. You couldn't have knew. When the last time I had a gun? When the last time I had a gun? How would you know? You see what I'm saying? That's the goofy. You see what I'm saying? That's the goofy part. When the last time I had a gun? Ain't no way you can figure that out, can you? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. Last time I had a gun, I was staying with my girlfriend, right? So somebody was shooting next door, directly in front of us. And I felt some type of way about it. It didn't feel right. Was I scared? No. But it didn't feel right. So I got on the phone and made a call for me to get a gun. Yo, can you bring me a gun, man? They over here shooting next door. Right? That's the last time I had a gun, bro. That's what type of person I am. I got on the phone and made a phone call, bro. That's what type of person I am, bro. Okay? I made a call and got a shotgun. Slept on the shotgun because my girl didn't like guns in the house. I'm that type of dude, bro. Now, did they tell you that? No. They gonna paint me as some petty little punk or something. I know how they think. Because they petty little punks. And so when you see my caliber of how I think and the things I've done and how I get on the phone to get a gun, I call my family, yo, bring me a gun. The person came, backed up, reversed in the driveway, popped the trunk, gave me a shotgun, buddy. Just like that. All I had to do was go get shells for it. And you hit somebody one time with a shotgun, you already know what time it is. That's all I'm saying, bro. I can tell you things. You see what I'm saying? When it's just we out here in the streets and we in the jungle, that's how it should be. You know, but we got so caught up in the hood and in these hip hop theatrics, if you will. You know, this rap stuff and all of this. Nobody believes nothing anymore. So when somebody like me comes along, you don't know what to believe because of all this stuff on TV. I mean, or on the phone. Both of it. You know, but that's real life. You know what I'm saying? I got that shotgun, all I needed was a box of shells and I would have been good. That tells you but that shows you my intent. What I'm built like. I took the initiative to make that call. Nobody ain't say, are you okay over there? I heard some shots. I'm bringing a gun. Nobody say that. I made that initiative. Got on the phone, yo, bring me a gun. Not a knife. And see, people get deceived. Because in New York, I follow uniform, right? Okay, but I can tell you the last time I called for a gun. So there goes the balance. There goes the balance, buddy. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't take my kindness for weakness, man. You know what I'm saying? If I step to you decently and, respect it, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. If you don't want to see me be a jerk, I can show my whole butt up in here. I make the whole block feel me. I'm not trying to do that. It ain't no need to do that. Why? That's lame. I'm trying to get somewhere. Why am I gonna mess up my situation? Trying to prove something to some random person. And see, that's how people expect me to move. That's how people who respect me expect me to move. Now, I don't know about people that respect you, how they expect you to move, but I don't see how they can respect it. I don't see how they can respect how you move. But for me, people that I know that respect anybody that's on my level gonna say, yo, man, don't pay attention to that, bro. You know what I'm saying? You already winning, man. That's what it's all about. I know that's what this all about. It ain't cause I'm losing. and it ain't cause they got something on me. It ain't because they got some crimes on me. No. And see, now that you know that I have done crimes and felonies, and I know what it is to be in crime time. See, some of these little white boys don't know nothing about that. These little white girls using witchcraft, you don't know what it is to do no crime. So the closest thing to crime is gang stalking. That's why they getting off on it. Because they ain't never done no real felonies or no crimes like we have. The first felony I did, technically, well, I say technically, yeah, it might have been when I was at school, in high school. And me and this dude was a bona fide criminal too. He was, you know how you meet them dudes that's more of a criminal than you? They just do stuff. Like he was one of them type of dudes. He was like one of them, I just do stuff type of dudes. Right? So everybody knew that about him. Even I did. You know what I'm saying? I sold a little weed at school, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not one of them, I'll do all crimes type of person. He was. He'll do anything. He spot a crime. He the type of dude spot stuff. Real thugs. That's what thugs do. They spot crimes. You know, he was a real thug. And so he spotted a crime to do where he wanted to get this woman's pocketbook in the back of her hatchback in the car, right? So he brought me along to like look out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I seen him in between classes. He was like, yo, Donnell, come here, man. Like, let's go do this. And I'm always like that. If it, like I told you, it's one-on-one, me, somebody talking to me, we'll go do something. So me and him didn't realize that the woman put her car by the cafeteria windows and she saw him, everything he was doing, she saw it. Guess what happened? He blamed me. The police told me. He blamed me. He said I did it. Now either, I don't know if the police was using a tactic of saying, he said you did it, where he would throw me off and I say he did it or whatever. But I think he did, because he just was a grimy dude. He just did any kind of crimes. So that type of person just used to running in with the police. So he probably just threw it off on me. And I got a charge for that. I had to go to jail for it. I got arrested for it. He put it off on me. Okay, so that was my first felony, and I had to go through the jail system for all of that. I had to be on probation. I had to do community service, all of that stuff. See, when you start talking in terms of that, man, you leave behind these white girls. These white girls ain't going through the justice, the law system like that. They ain't on no probation. They ain't doing no community service and everything. I do not tolerate that kind of person. Just because you smoke weed and you drink, you gotta tell lame dudes, okay? Just because you smoke weed and you listen to the music on the internet and you drink and you get high and whatever, right? That don't make you a criminal. That don't make you a felon. That don't make you somebody that would do a crime, bro. I'm telling you, like, how I gauge it is crime after crime. That's how I look at it. All that attitude, you can find it out there where people think they think they thugs and gangsters. That's the problem. Now it's so bad that kids don't even sell drugs and catch charges. They smoke weed and got guns. That's how bad it is now. They don't do no crimes like we did. Some of them do now. Some of them do. But it's a lot of kids. Have you ever heard? How many times have you seen the killings in the news where it didn't talk about nothing about drug dealing or trying to rob somebody? It ain't talk nothing about that. It was just a clash between kids getting high and they got guns. Kids now, they get guns and get weed, and that's it. They don't go try to sell drugs. Some of them don't. Some of them don't try to hustle or nothing. They don't try to rob nobody or nothing. Now you in the hood, you know, them young dudes gonna come up robbing people and everything, cause they around it. You know what I'm saying? But cause that's how we all got caught up. We ain't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna be a thug today. I ain't never met nobody like that. Have you ever met a person say, I'm gonna be a thug today? Well, then what happens? What happens to a black young man or a black boy? What happens? I'm gonna tell you what happens. Somebody in the clique among the homies start selling drugs first. whoever sells drugs first, put everybody else onto it. Or anybody that you kind of hang out with. You know what I'm saying? That and he starts selling drugs first, and then because y'all already friends, it's more comfortable for you. Cause this is a person you kind of grew up with. You start selling drugs with people you grow up with. That's how it works. That's organically. If anybody tell me that kind of story, I'm gonna believe it. Cause you wasn't trying to do it. I remember when I wasn't even smoking cigarettes. I just smoked Black and Milds. I smoked weed and Black and Milds. And I had a friend that just always like, man, go ahead and hit the cigarette, man. Like, I don't smoke, bruh. I don't smoke. See, I was that kind of kid. I had a strong mind. I mean, you know, I ain't never succumbed to no peer pressure. I mean, a couple times in my life when I was young, you know, but I rarely succumbed to peer pressure. But this dude was just like, it just seemed like he just wanted to see me take that puff of cigarette. And I just told him, I'm like, I don't smoke, bro. I don't smoke. But I smoke Black and Milds and weed. But cigarettes was a different thing. It didn't appeal to me. And then I just kept hanging with people and, you know, start smoking more weed. And, you know, you get around certain people and they like, yo, man, how I think I started smoking cigarettes was people like, yo, it just boosts your high when you high. You know what I'm saying? Get your high back up. That's how we call it. We you know, it boosts your high back up when you smoke some weed, then you hit a cigarette. And it worked. Like, I feel the head rush. I remember that when I was first started smoking. You feel that head rush, but after a while, it goes away. You notice it don't never come back? Not really. But when I first started smoking, you feel that head rush, and you're like, okay, that boosts my high. Then, after that, after a while, you just start smoking. That's how it got me. At first, I was smoking with weed. I smoked my cigarettes with weed to boost my high. See, I innocently went into it. I didn't just, I just want to do everything and look cool. I was just smoking weed, which was cool for me. And Black and Milds, they smell so good, that's what got me with the Black and Milds. When they first came out, they stink now. Ooh, but when in the 90s, they smelled so sweet. It was almost seductive just to smell them. And people smoking them at the bus stop, everything. That's when I started smoking Black and Milds, just because of how they smell. That's how it appealed to all the kids. But cigarettes stink to me. I just didn't see the point. It didn't get you high. As a kid, I just didn't see the point. But then when somebody broke it down to me, like, it give you a head rush when you know what I'm saying, you smoke some weed. You know, you get around that one dude that always smoking. He smoked so much his lips purple. You remember them dudes in school? Them type of dudes. I think it was one of them. With the purple lips, them type of dude. You know he smoked weed. His lips purple. Them type of dudes. I don't even see kids like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Back in my time, in the 90s, it was always these couple kids. Everywhere you go, it was like a couple kids, their lips are purple from smoking weed. And somebody broke it down to me, either way it go, about, okay, when you smoke weed and this boost your high back up. You smoke this cigarette, it'll boost your high back up. So I'm like, okay. And sure enough, I felt a little boost. But I kind of already was getting that from the Black and Milds. See what I'm saying? So it still wasn't no need. But it kind of, I'm going to tell you what happened. It's when you fell off and you ain't got no Black and Mild to smoke. And then you realize the purpose, and that's how you start smoking. You realize the purpose of boosting your high. For me as a kid, that's all it was. I smoked weed, boost my high with cigarettes. Now I'm back good. It come up a little bit. It do come up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? From buzzing to back, hit a cigarette, come up a little bit. Especially if you don't really smoke cigarettes. But then after that, I just started smoking cigarettes, just like everybody else. And then my mom, she used to lay me out cigarettes before I went to school. See, I came from a cool family where once my mom knew I was smoking, she started laying me out cigarettes before I went to school. I wake up to 3 cigarettes. Smoke me one at the bus stop. Same dude that thought I would never be smoking cigarettes. Here I am. I smoke me one on the bus stop. I get on the bus, I might smoke another one. Because we were so bad as kids in the ghetto. This is how you know I came from a ghetto neighborhood. We smoked weed on our school bus. And we smoked weed on the school bus, a whole joint, not a little roach. And then it sparked up and everybody smelled it. No, we burn incense, smoking weed in the back of the bus. Yo, I can't make this up, bro. Dude pulled out an incense on the bus. But that's how ghetto we was. That's how bad we was. We smoked weed on our school bus. As soon as we get out the school parking lot from coming out of school, high school, right? We smoked, everybody lighting up cigarettes on the back of the bus. Cause that was the ghetto neighborhood. Like that's how you know. Other kids will be scared to do something like just lighten it up. Cause it's loud, you know everybody gonna smell it, even if you light up a cigarette. Man, we was the kind of kids, man, as soon as we got off the campus of the school, down the block, everybody lighting up cigarettes. Boom. Like that. Everybody. The whole back of the bus. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was for me. And then, far as the crack go, my friend who I used to trade video games with, that's how our relationship was. Me and him I had video games, he had video games, and we trade, we borrow each other games. You know, shoot BB guns, like normal kids. And then he started selling crack, right? He started selling crack. Right? And somehow he talked me into it. Just like he was the same person. This is the same person that tried to get me into smoking cigarettes. Just to see me do it, I guess. That one of them type of dudes. But he started selling crack. The same dude I used to get, my mom knew him. He came over to the house. And he started selling crack, real crack. And somehow I don't know how he talked me into it, but I was ready already because I had sold a little weed before. So I think that's why I was a little, with that, I was just a little more ready. And but I sold crack independently of him. He ain't have no blocks. He ain't have nothing. He ain't have no clientele. I ain't take advantage of his clientele at all. I ain't have no clientele. I just walked around, and or family. I sold crack to my family. There's some people in my family know. It's a person in my family that definitely know I sold crack because I sold him crack, and he had some friends, and I sold some crack to his friend before. So it was that, and this was an older cousin, like old enough to be my uncle. So there's somebody in my family that can say, yeah, he did. I remember he did sell crack before. You know what I'm saying? So it's that, and when you got and that's how it should be. Your family should be able to vouch and say, okay, yeah, one time, this, that, and the third. But then you got some family members that's more ghetto than you, but they ain't know you sold crack. You ever been in that situation? Because you're going to always have people in your family that's more ghetto than you, more poor than you, ghetto than you, and they ain't even know you sell crack or nothing. They ain't know you done no felonies or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like a little kid like that. You know what I'm saying? I grew up like that. You know what I'm saying? From smoking cigarettes, and then same person I was hanging around. I started selling a little weed. You know what I'm saying? I started selling crack. That's how it happened. I ain't sell no weight. Though. I ain't work up to weight because I changed my life. I became a Christian. If I hadn't become a Christian, I probably would have sold weight. I probably would have. I would have got more serious about it. That's what happens. When you get out after 18, 19, you've been dipping and dabbing as a teenager. Now you're gonna get serious. You're gonna get some real drugs. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people gonna look at you. You're a little older now. You need a little more drugs, buddy. You need a little more. How about this? A drug dealer gonna be good at selling you drugs. That's what a good drug dealer is. A drug dealer. That part where they can make you good deals and give you good ideas to do good ideas, and well, won't you get this package right here? This package right here will allow you to do this and do that. This guy said, shoot, I should be paid commission for this. I should be paid for commission for this, man. So I just grew up like innocently, like any other black kid. And the real truth, man, we all grew up playing video games. We all grew up watching cartoons. And then you got around somebody in the community that sold crack. and did felonies and did crimes, and that's how it happened naturally. We didn't grow up like this one day. Well, nobody wake up with saying, "Oh yeah, I want to go sell some crack." And I always felt dirty when I had crack on me too, like that feeling. You know what I mean? But nobody woke up one day and say, "Yo, I want to break in a house and steal guns." Yo, I want to, you just get around certain people, and that's how it happened naturally. So when people run to the fire and they ain't got to, them wind up being the worst type of people, because they want to be evil. They want to be bad. That's my point. They want to be bad. They want to be evil. Then you find people that just, they just came into that mentality of hurting people, wanting to hurt people. And like for me, you'll be surprised at what creates that mentality in black children. A lot of times it's bullying and fighting and out here with these other black kids, and you become violent. That's what happened. Somebody pick on you, you go home and fantasize about killing them. And that's the first time I ever thought about it. Is this kid he hated me. He hated me because I think his sister liked me. She always was talking to me, looking at me, and he probably was looking at her and she was looking at me. I'm pretty sure that happened because she would always talk to me. And I ain't even bite on her though, because I knew that was his sister, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. She was with nobody because of that. She probably hated it too. Because he was such a bully, nobody wanted to try to talk to his sister. But she was always talking to me. Complimenting me on my how I dress. Everything. She was like always, most dudes would have easily seen she liked me. And she probably said something innocently when she went home, like how she liked me, and once she did that was it. Once she made light of me, which I know she made the mistake of doing. Once after that dude just couldn't stand me because his sister liked me. So it was like this protective thing over his sister, and me and her was the same age, or she was older than me, and something like that kind of situation. Well, you don't really know, but she right there with you, and she might be older than you, especially in school. But that's why he just antagonized me. And he was the first person I went home and thought about killing. I really thought about killing that guy. I really thought about it. And that's when my mindset changed. It didn't come from just being, for me, I'm just speaking for me. It didn't come from already suffering from psychosis. That's how they'll act. Like you're what word I want to use? A serial killer. Like you're a serial killer or something. Like you lack empathy and apathy. That's what white people gonna do. They gonna go down to these stuff they don't think I know about. Like people lacking empathy are considered serial killers. People who lack empathy or apathy, right? Those two terms. But I think it's empathy. And if you lack empathy, they'll think you're which means basically you don't feel what other people feel. They'll think you're a serial killer, or you're inclined to be like a serial killer. Now you put that with talking about catching a body or whatever, they'll think you're a serial killer. But that ain't how it happened for a lot of black kids. What I think is, like me, they get played with by some people or something happened to them, and how it happened is so treacherous, because you know how black kids are in the hood, in the ghetto. It's so bad how they do you. You want to kill this person. And so for me, that's how I started. Then I started shooting guns with my friend. So you put it together. I had got picked on in school by this one dude, and I had these first thoughts of killing somebody because of that. And then I went from there to start shooting guns with my friend, because his dad was in the military, so he had all these guns. So we would go in his backyard and just shoot guns, right? So I done shot guns before and everything. So that's how my mentality came. It came from that, and then you mix that with hip hop, and as a young kid coming up, now you're more open to hurting people, and you got that mentality now. Now you know you got it because somebody put it in you. You know what I'm saying? And from there it just sparked, and now you just in the world of thinking like that with all the rest of these people in the streets. So that's how it happened for me. I can describe my whole makeup, how it happened. And for me, carrying weapons, I might feel the need to do it because I've been robbed at gunpoint. Let me tell you something. When you get robbed at gunpoint, when somebody got a gun in your face, you gonna feel your psychology is gonna be different from other people. Where you feel like you need a weapon to protect yourself. And if that happen, especially if that happened to you as a kid, I ain't gonna say it traumatized you, but it definitely is gonna mold your psychology. When you going through all this stuff, it's gonna mold your psychology. If somebody robbed you at gunpoint with a gun in your hand, and that gun could have killed you, it could have went off for whatever reason. It happens all the time. But you usually see it in the movies. You know, somebody trying to rob somebody, and then for whatever reason, the gun goes off, right? So anytime somebody put a gun in your face, it's personal. It's extra personal. It's extra personal, man. And you'll probably have the psychology that you always need to protect yourself from that point. From that point, I always felt the need to get weapons or have a gun. I always wanted a gun. It was always in the back of my mind. And it still is to this day. But see, that's because of my experiences. Now, if you ain't never been robbed at gunpoint, well, somebody put a gun in a car. This dude had a car. So I'm pretty sure the gun was loaded. Now, I can see if he was on the streets, then you could question whether the gun was loaded or not. But this dude riding around, I got robbed by somebody not on foot, like a bum. This dude was in a car. I got robbed by somebody at gunpoint in a car. They pulled up on me, pulled out the gun. I had weed. They got weed from me. They got 2 quarters of weed. I was gonna have a good day. You can see that. 2 quarters of weed. And I had like the Dickie khaki shirts. The Dickie khaki, so I had all khaki on. And I had, Dickie's got them big pockets in the front. So he just seen the weed, he just pulled it out of my pocket just like that. The bag probably was showing, you know what I'm saying? And then he just pulled it right out just like that. And rolled off, you know what I'm saying? And so when somebody put a gun in your face, and you gonna feel a need to protect yourself for the rest of your life. That's gonna make you feel more a need for weapons because you done been through something like that. But if you ain't never been through where somebody, you felt that level of danger, where somebody pulled up on you, a complete stranger. This is not a person I knew. Sometimes it is a person you knew. But not for me. This was a complete stranger that seen me a little bit at the weed house. He knew I had a lot of weed. That's why he robbed me, because he knew I had a lot of weed, right? I was a kid. I got robbed when I was a kid at gunpoint. So that's my story. And I know how that affected me, where I just feel the need to, I think in my psychology, I just feel the need to protect myself. I feel comfortable like that. If I know I can defend myself with a weapon, I feel good. I feel comfortable. Not arrogant. I don't feel arrogant. Some people do, and this is how you know who got a gun. Most of the times, I learned this from somebody. You could tell, I don't know what street dude I learned this from, but it's true. You know how you learn, you knew you learned it from somebody, but you don't know who it was. If you see a person that's really cocky and arrogant and confident, cocky, arrogant, and confident, and they talking reckless to you, most likely they got a gun. That's why they arrogant like that. That's why they cocky. I'm talking on the streets. You see some dude just like get out the way kind of attitude, that kind of dude. Everybody know what I'm talking about, like get out the way, man, what you looking at kind of attitude. That person most likely got a gun. That's why they like that. That's how they tell on themselves all the time. If they arrogant like that, you ain't no need to even try them unless you gonna shoot them, because they got a gun. That's why they like that. You will rarely find somebody that's kind of humble, like I carry my. You ain't gonna know I got no weapons. Not really. A matter of fact, when I got jumped, one time I got jumped here in New York, the dudes didn't know I had a weapon. And they jumped me. I could have easily turned around and started stabbing them in the face. And I guarantee you ain't gonna recover from it. Not like you want to. So, man, that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know about carrying weapons, and you ain't gonna know I got it. Because my attitude ain't gonna change. See, some people, their attitude change when they got a weapon. Guns on them, they arrogant. They just, and how they deal with people is arrogant. How they handle people. What you looking at, man? Get out my way, man. What, you got a problem? Like that. You know this dude got a gun. And that extra stuff, when they on that extra stuff, and you know you wouldn't be on it, and they wouldn't be on it if you ain't got no gun on you, you don't want no problems, because if you ain't got no gun on you, you ain't gonna really want no problems. Think about it. You ain't gonna give no extra talk to nobody, because you ain't got no weapon. But if I give you all this extra talk and it just really don't matter, you know, some little stuff like that, most likely, bro, they got some type of weapon on them. They got some type of gun on them. That's how it is. As soon as I see somebody acting like you a chump, that kind of attitude too. Like you just a chump. And you know, when they got that kind of attitude, they got something on them, bro. They got a gun on them. They got a gun on them. Mm-hmm. But man, what's the punchline in life and in this situation, bro, is it ain't gonna matter too much how many guns people got, man, because these wars that we got going on now is so crazy that a gun ain't gonna mean nothing. That's the deception that the Americans got. When real war break out, you ain't gonna have enough guns to win the war. How you gonna kill all these people? So then you have to just kind of use the gun sparingly just to get through to survive. You can't just shoot it out with everybody. So when the war breaks out, I think people have this video game mentality, like you gonna shoot you can't shoot everybody. You ain't got enough clips. You ain't got enough magazines. So you ain't got enough rounds. You ain't got enough ammo. How you gonna shoot all these people? Especially, let's just say in New York, if the law ends, right? The law ends. How can you shoot all these people? You can't. All these blocks. I would just run through and to get out of New York on foot. I wouldn't even try to shoot nobody. I wouldn't waste one bullet. I wouldn't waste one bullet unless I had to. But I would just run out of New York. And when you're running, and everything is lawless, ain't nobody really gonna chase you. It don't make no sense. They ain't gonna chase you. Unless they see a bag on you, if they see a bag on you, they might think they can get something from you. But if you keep running, people just gonna get confused about why you're running. Really, I was just running out of New York, literally. I don't walk from city to city, so it's nothing to me. I don't walk from one city to another. That's another thing about me. I don't walk from one city to another, so it's nothing for me to walk on foot and leave New York. I walk out of New York and leave. I wouldn't try to shoot everybody. You can't make it. You can't make it. So it's a fantasy, and my point is, it's a fantasy that people gonna be able to shoot their way out of when these scenarios where things hit the fan. You ain't gonna be able to shoot your way out of that, man. You ain't gonna have enough ammo and guns, is my point. So you would have to basically hide from the community and survive away from the community. You ain't gonna be able to shoot all these people. How? That's a fantasy. That's the biggest deception about the last days, is that if we come into a lawless community, you're gonna be able to shoot your way out. How you gonna do that? And some people only got 2 clips, 2 magazines, which means you probably got about 30 rounds at best. 30 rounds for all these people. That's 30 people you can kill. And you got to make that count, which is basically people in your way. That's the only thing that would make sense. But just shooting out in the air and everything, and some people going to be that stupid. They're going to be just glad to be shooting around. Shooting all out in the air and everything. And then you realize, I don't think I'm going to be able to, it's going to dawn on you how I'm going to defend myself against all these people with these little bit of magazines. It's a fantasy, bro. Ain't nobody in this world gonna be able to do it. Even military couldn't do it. You got a certain amount of clips. And how you gonna be mobile with enough clips to kill everybody? You ain't gonna be able to carry all those clips on your person. So how many clips you gonna have? What? How many? And then keep in mind, your gun gonna be hot and smoking if you're using the same gun. It's gonna be smoking, which means you gotta deal with that. It's gonna be hot. It could burn you. You know, it might stop working. If you keep, that's the fantasy about on the video games. You keep using the same gun, it's gonna smoke. It's gonna be smoking and burning. That's real life that they don't show you in the movies. Even in the movies, you ever notice they don't show you a real hot gun? How many times they shooting a gun? That gun gonna be smoking, burning up. It'll catch on fire in some cases. It's so hot it can catch on fire. You have to put it out. That's in real life. Military will tell you that. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to shoot all these people. You come out better believing in God to protect you like Moses with Pharaoh in his army, and God just led the way. Moses led the way. God used Moses to lead the way. You come out better than doing that than trying to face a community with a certain amount of ammo. You ain't gonna be able to do it. Because what I'm trying to show you is you're gonna be mobile, right? So how you gonna have 5 guns on your person like Call of Duty? How you gonna have 5 assault rifles on your back? How you gonna have 5, 10 assault rifles? You know, you ain't gonna have 5, 10 guns on you. And then you gotta have food, and you gotta have the clips. How you gonna be mobile like that? And it's gonna slow you down if you do got all those guns on you. It's gonna slow down how you move when you gunfight. So how you gonna do that? You gonna be walking around with 5, 10 guns on you. How you gonna gunfight? See what I'm saying? It's unrealistic. Realistically, bro, if the truth is, if this all hit the fan, most people ain't even gonna be able to use all those guns they got. Nope. See, I'm a realist. That's why I never fed into all these things. Because I realized long time ago, when I looked at these scenarios of fighting against the complete chaos and pandemonium in the community, you ain't gonna be able to fight against all these people. No. You won't be able to put a dent in all them people. If you're in New York, how you gonna fight 5 boroughs? And they all got guns. And you don't know their neighborhoods on top of that. Not really. You don't know the bad parts of it. Listen, man, come on. You won't make it. If you live in New York, once it start hitting the fan, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm leaving. I'm getting on the Chinese bus. If this economy and everything collapse, and I see it's definitely bad, real bad, I'm out. I'm getting on the Chinese bus and go down south. Because at some point, you might not be able to get out. As far as New York, yeah. They might not have no Chinese buses after about 2 months, 3 months of pressure where it ain't really no law and it's a lawless community. It's gonna last a little longer because them Chinese people gonna still get that money, right? It'll last a little longer. But then you don't know how bad things, they might get killed, somebody get killed up there, and then the Chinese people just shut it down. That probably is what happened. They wind up killing one of them Chinese people at the Chinese, they offer the Chinese services for the Chinese bus, and somebody get killed, what you think they gonna do? They gonna shut it down. That's enough. Enough. Chinese man gonna say enough. Enough. He gonna shut that down. As soon as somebody gets shot, he shutting it down. Bottom line, and you know that, and you already know how the Chinese bus is. Dude got it on him. You know what I mean? You can come up through the Chinese bus with it on you. You know. So that being said, you telling me they ain't gonna wind up? That's the first thing that happened. That's exactly what happened. And you tell me you ain't gonna have it on you, and you going somewhere else. With this stuff hitting the fan, of course you gonna have everything on you. Matter of fact, you might buy something new just as you going down there. That's what you should do. Instead of going down there looking for a plug, why not? Go ahead and get you one before you go down there. And then if some altercation happens, somebody try you, all this recklessness and pandemonium. Can you imagine getting on the Chinese bus at that time? People yelling and screaming, ah, it's my seat. I need a ticket. And just people going crazy. That's kind of how it's going to be. I wouldn't even chill at the Chinese bus, which I never do anyway. I always chill outside of it. I'd probably chill and go sit somewhere for like 2 blocks until the bus come. I wouldn't even sit right down there at the place. I never do anyway. But once I can clearly see this country is gone, I'm leaving New York. You can't stay here because you might get stuck. That's what happened. And they ain't offer no services. They ain't offer no buses out of here. Then what? Then what you gonna do? So soon as I see that this country collapse and New York collapse, I'm out. I'm out, bro. Before it shut down. Before they don't even offer no way out. And listen, you can never underestimate that cannot happen. Oh, it can happen. They shut the whole system down, then they shut transportation. Somebody get killed at the bus station or at these Greyhounds, they shutting that down, bro. That's how it's gonna happen. People getting killed up there. Pandemonium and everything. Then how you gonna get out of New York? You're gonna be walking on foot like I told you. If you military, that's what you're gonna do. If you police, that's what you're gonna do. If the people built like that, they gonna walk out of New York on foot. See, I'm built like that. I can walk out of here on foot and I ain't gonna lose my mind. I ain't gonna feel like I'm in despair. You know, see, that's the first thing you can do it physically. Anybody can put one foot in front of the other physically, but your mind gotta be held together. Where you don't feel like the whole world is falling apart. You know, your survival mode kick in, and some people don't got it. They don't got the backbone for that. You know, once this stuff collapse, then what you gonna do? You go listen. You either get out of here on this Chinese bus, or you walk out on foot. If you can't get that, I'm walking out on foot. Say no more. I'm out. Cause the longer you wait, the worse it's gonna get. See, that's what I see. So you can see I'm already ready. If this collapse, as soon as I see enough telltale signs that New York has changed forever, I'm out, buddy. I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm gonna go ahead and catch that Chinese bus down south and go from there. Cause down south is a whole open world where you can live in the woods if you got to. You can't live in no woods in New York. They gonna see that patch of woods. 1 million people gonna see that same patch of woods. That's gonna be the problem. That's gonna be the problem right there. It ain't that it ain't no woods. Everybody gonna see that same patch of woods. That same patch of woods. And say, let me go investigate this. Let me go investigate this. You go down south, bro. You go down south. You go down south. It's woods everywhere. You can live in the woods. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna advance in the woods. You gotta stay mobile. And your ideal place is a place in the woods that somebody overlook where you live. That's gonna be the most ideal. Somebody overlook it. They don't really see somebody living there. And they just walk past it. That's what you're gonna be looking for in the woods. But see, down south you can live in the woods. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to find out edible vegetation where you eat wild vegetation. Oak, you can eat acorns, all kind of stuff. So you just gotta understand, like, you ain't gonna be able to live in the big cities no more. That's gonna be a matter of fact, that's the first thing gonna go in America is the big city, because it's connected to the grid and the politics and just the warped minds of people. The worst people is gonna be in the cities. You go to the country, you're gonna get better quality people that'll help you and everything. You might find people that'll help you. In the city, you ain't gonna find nobody that's gonna help you. No. They gonna be every man for himself. They gonna be nasty, grimy, all that shiesty, all them words. Greasy, that one too. You go to the country, people more nice. A family might take you in, let you live in a barn. You living in a barn. You living on some land. Some people helped you. They feel like they can be a family with you. So you're gonna get more help down south. People gonna take you seriously. You living up here, man, you just another bum. They gonna tell you, get out of New York. Leave here. Don't you see what's going on? They'll tell homeless people that. Go somewhere, catch a bus and get out of here. You have a better chance of survival doing anywhere else. New York gonna be the worst place to be, bruh. The worst. Complete pandemonium. If you know what's good for you, shoot, you'll leave now. The only reason I ain't left is because I don't have no setup anywhere else to where I can just transition easily, into being somewhere else. That's the only reason, man. It's a money situation. I wouldn't live in New York because New York is gonna be the first thing to go. It's gonna be the first thing to go, man. And how we know? Because all these people here, the mentality of the people. Once that hit the fan, all these people, it's gonna be everybody for themselves at each other's necks. How you gonna be here? This gonna be the worst place to be. Literally. Not even a matter of preference. It's gonna be it's not even a matter of opinion. It's gonna be the worst place to be, bro. I'm telling you. And that's that. You can't be here. You know what I'm saying? So once I see it hit the fan, once I see this stuff hit the fan, that's it. That's it. I'm out. That's all I'm waiting for. All I'm waiting for is when I see telltale signs that this is over for New York and America, I'm going down south, I'm going down to the country. Because you're going to have a better chance of survival living on the land, in the woods, and the people are better quality to help you. These people ain't going to help you down here in New York. They going to look at you like they crazy, especially if they got a family. They ain't going to trust you around their family. A country person will trust you quicker around their family than a New York person. Somebody down south say, oh yeah, you can stay with us. They got a whole family. You can live in the barn. You can live in this barn. Put you some blankets out there and everything. You can't tell me that won't happen. In the South, I know. But up here, they gonna just think it's just not even wise for us to do it. For us to invite somebody else to live with us and everything, it's just not a wise. That's because everybody else messed it up. You could be a great person. You're not gonna get that opportunity most likely. It's just based off how everybody else is around here. You go down south, everybody's better quality as far as their hearts and minds. So they gonna base their decision on their surroundings. Other good people, and they gonna give you a chance based on the surroundings, that they live in, the people how they are around there. So you'll see an exodus of black people from New York to the South. They gonna do that because they gonna realize they family that's down south gonna tell them to come on down there. They probably telling them now, you need to get out of New York, come on down here. You got all these New York people, your family already telling you, yeah, when it get bad, you can come on down here. I already know. Because you're gonna have a better chance of living. You ain't gonna be able to live up here. You gotta go down south with your family. So you're gonna see a lot of black people doing that. They're gonna go down south and live with their family. A lot of New Yorkers gonna go down south and live with their family. So that's for black people. I don't know what white people gonna do. I don't know their culture like that. But I know a lot of black people in New York, their family come from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna go, their family gonna call them. You know how Southern people are. Oh, come on down here. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. I already see the news. It's getting bad. Come on down here. See, your family gonna pull you down there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm from the South. I know better. I pull myself down there. Ain't nobody gotta tell me. Once this get bad enough, it's over. You gotta move on. You can't think about what New York used to be. See, that's what's gonna get some people. They're gonna be still sitting around looking stupid, thinking about how New York was. And it's obviously not that no more. You ain't gonna be like this. It's getting worse every day. Just like the song, Welcome to the Jungle, it gets worse every day. That's facts. Welcome to the jungle, it gets worse every day. Tell you. See, if you look at things in terms of that, you're gonna survive, but if you walk around here reckless in the jungle, I'm telling you, you're gonna get your issue with somebody. That's why people that's aware of the jungle, they know, man, listen, ain't nobody bad enough to just be trying people. Ain't nobody that bad. None of us are that bad. I don't care where you come from. It's always gonna be somebody that's tougher than you. And that's how it is. It's gonna be somebody tougher than you, buddy, and you're gonna find that out the hard way. See, when you kids, some people find it out as kids that you thought you was bad until you met your match. You met somebody that's just as bad as you. That's in the black community. You'll find out, okay, this person is just as bad as me, if not worse. Or some people find that out as grown men or grown women. And it's worse when you find out as a grown man or woman, because it's going to be more damage. The fight is going to be worse, or the whatever it is going to be worse. So with that being said, you know, you can't walk in the jungle reckless. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk through any jungle reckless. What I'm doing, I'm supposed to do. A lion roars. A lion's supposed to roar. That's what a lion does. That's the warning shots. This is my warning shots. I'm supposed to do this. When I know you ain't a felon, when I know, you know what I'm saying? And I've been around people that done caught bodies and all of that stuff. And for whatever reason, you hyped up off the internet or this music or whatever it is that got you hyped up. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I've been around the killers, and I know the difference. Okay, so I know the difference between mental sickness and killers. And so, you know, you see how I know it's a setup? Because people don't even know me well enough to be mad at me. Oh, you mad at me about what? I ain't never talked to you a day in my life. So that's how I know you sent by the enemy. That's how I know you sent by the Freemason. Okay, how they gonna be mad at me for what? I ain't never had a conversation with this person. And they was already slamming doors and everything. So okay, so then so I'm smart enough to know you was already on this certain energy already. You ain't seen me a day in my life. You ain't even seen my face. So that's, I mean, you know, I'm not an amateur, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an amateur. That's how I already know what it is. So when a person is like that, how can you pull them off of it? You feel me? So because they already on it. Okay, without you saying anything, which means they into politics, right? And that's all we need to know. See, either way it go, man, I've come to terms with the fact that with all this talking going on and all these people, I might have to catch me a body, bro. I have to be, even though I don't want to, I have to be open to it, bro. Because so many people done talked out here and said so much stuff they ain't got no business saying. Just ignorant people, bro. White, black, or whatever. I might have to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. I have to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I ain't got nothing to do with it, you know. But it's what it is, bro. That's life. I might have to catch me a body. Because it's people that, man, it just disgusts me, bro. They want to be part of the culture so bad. They want to be black. It's black people that want to be black so bad. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be ghetto or ratchet so bad, bro. It just disgusts me. That's why I don't talk about being any labels of a thug, a gangster. You ain't gonna ever hear me say that out of my mouth. I'm gonna show you how it relates. The rules and regulations relates to what I'm talking about. Their rules and regulations relates to mine, right? But it's so many people that think they thugs and gangsters. It just make me sick. It just make me sick. It just make me nauseous. You know what I'm saying? Just because it disgusts me because it doesn't happen organically anymore. It's people that look on the internet or whatever. They don't got real stories like we do. They just look on the internet and they get mesmerized. You know, and that's what it is. It bred a certain type of person that don't even come from the streets. That's what type of people we dealing with. They don't come from that. How I know? Because they ain't got no rules and regulations. They ain't got no the same rules that we got. How they come from the streets and we don't hear no rules that like we got. We don't hear none of that. So how that's the streets? Nah, that's people that look on the internet and look at the byproducts of the streets. They look at all this byproduct stuff. They look at all this stuff that look cool and all of that. But they don't know, they can't sit down like I do in front of a camera and you can't find no flaws. You can't find where I'm fake at all. That's what I mean when I say flaws. I can talk for 3 hours straight and you can't find nothing. You can't find, oh, that was fake. Oh, that you can't find no place. Go through all my videos. See, a person that is telling the truth talk for a long time. If I'm lying, I'm gonna put myself in a lie. You gonna catch me in a lie. So you didn't look at it like that, did you? If I can talk for hours and hours and hours, how in the world it's gonna be even if this person, you might say, have believed in themselves being something for so long, it's still gonna be a lie somewhere. In the streets, according to the streets, something gonna come off flaky, something gonna come off wrong. And I can freestyle, talk about any part of life. That's how you know I'm real. I can talk about being in a relationship. I can talk about all of that from a real perspective. I can talk about all of it from a real perspective. How that's gonna be fake? Cause see, the true test, if you want to know if somebody's real, talk about something that ain't got nothing to do with the streets. That's how I find out. I don't test people, but if I sit back and I want to know somebody real, I ain't gonna talk about the stuff you be rehearsing and talking about all the time. I ain't gonna talk about the streets. I ain't gonna talk about guns, drugs, and nothing. I'm just IDing myself. That's why I'm talking about it. So you know what type of person I am, right? So if you want to find if somebody is just posing, ask them about life. You know, ask them about something that's off key to the streets. Like it ain't got nothing to do with the streets. And then you'll see, oh, okay, he slipped. This is who this person. Now you see who the person really is. But if you hear real applied to everything, and no matter what I talk about, you can see it's real. I talk about it just like a man would for the streets. That's a mentality. That's a mentality. That's the difference. And it's applied to everything. It's applied to relationships. It's applied to everything. It's applied to any part of life. But if I just let you riff on being a thug, being a gangster, talk about drugs and guns and woo woo woo, right? That's just gonna be they normal conversation. They've rehearsed that a million times. I'm gonna talk about something that you don't know nothing about or that you're not familiar with talking about. I'm gonna talk about that, and that's what's gonna throw you off. Then I'm gonna see the real you. I'm gonna see the real you. How you feel about this? How you feel about that? How you feel about this? How you feel about that? Soon as you talk from the heart, I'm gonna see the real you. You might be a good person, but you want to be a street person. It's not saying you're gonna be a bad person, but you just want to be a street person. But you're really not. You're really not. You're not cold enough to be a street person. You're not cold enough. See me, I am. I'm cold enough. I listen. My cutoff game is so mean, bro. It's like I never even knew you. It's like I never even knew who you were. I never knew you at all. That's how you know, man, who built for that. How cold somebody can be. Not angry, the coldness. Because that's what it's going to take to catch a body. Anybody can get angry. But it's going to be that coldness like, if you die, I don't care. And some people will say that, but it's emotional. But then some people say it, man, and it resonates, bro. It's like they can step right over your dead body. Don't even care. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just people play the wrong games with the wrong people. That's just what it is, bro. I don't get put to the test no more. I handle my business when I got to. That's it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna handle my business. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, people just jealous, man. But like I said, we know why they really mad, man. You mad because we won. We won these real wars. You know, everybody's on our side. You know, they ready to hurt you if you play with me. You know, that's why you mad. You know, we know that. So that's why we just hold our composure, man, and just know, man, that, you know, long as you ain't got no charges, no receipts, we ain't trying to hear that, bro. That's white boy stuff. See, that's how we know some of these gay people, they don't get no manhood. See, they hide behind being gay, but they never become adults and think like a real man. Because a real man, whether you gay or whatever you choose to be, lesbian, tranny, whatever, a real man, a real adult is gonna say, you ain't got no charges on this person. Case closed, bro. We don't see him doing nothing. That's it. That's all we go by. A boy is gonna be playing these games like a kid, right? You see what I'm saying? So you'll find on the average situation, half of these gay dudes don't got no manhood. I call it how I see it. Yeah, listen, it's all childhood games, and a grown man like me can see it. Cause I'm gonna see the contrast. I know how a grown man think. I was raised by masculine men, and maybe you wasn't. You was just raised by a woman. That's why you like that. That's why you think you a woman. Because you wasn't raised by a man that made you take pride in a man. See, when you're raised by real men, you see the glory of a real man. You know what the glory of a real man is? His strength. You know what his beauty is? His strength. How it can produce money, more money than most women get. So you don't learn to take pride in the beauty of a man. The beauty of a man is his strength. He can go get all kind of money. A real man can. And while what? While a gay boy is broke, right? Right. While a gay boy ain't got no money. While a tranny is broke and ain't got no money. You took pride in the wrong beauty. When you got the beauty of a man, listen, you're gonna go get money, you're gonna have cars, you're gonna have gold, you're gonna have everything. You only got beauty in your what? You trying to be something else that you not. Listen, bro, and you broke, right? That's what I'm talking about. And that's the average situation. They don't think like grown adults, no matter what it is that they trying to be. I don't see them thinking like adults. That's it. And you can say whatever you want, but your threats or your insults is empty. That's my whole punchline. But what I'm saying is true about you. But what you're saying about me, everybody know it ain't true. So then once again, back to childhood, right? No pun intended. Back to childhood. Saying things that only children would say. But you can't say it to my face like a grown man. Because you ain't gonna be able to. Because you know you ain't never seen me do nothing. You don't see me doing nothing, right? So it's gonna feel real strange you saying this about somebody you don't know. That's all I'm saying. So I don't fight amateurs, man. So you ain't gonna listen. That person next door is beneath me, bro. That's the type of people we talk about. You ain't gonna see me talk to that person, interact with that person. If that's what you're waiting for, it ain't gonna happen. Because I'm not stupid enough to talk to that person. I ain't saying nothing to him. He put his hands on me or he tried me in any way, you're gonna see, listen, that's when you're gonna see the problem. Long as he don't put his hands on me, and long as he don't put his hands on me, listen, buddy, you're gonna be A-okay.